The year of the Godfather. The year of the Godfather.
2020 was a bitch.
What?
All I wanna do is this.
What?
2021.
Come on.
A nigga thought he was done. Welcome, everybody. This is D. Durrell with the Conscious Clientele, broadcasting from D. Durrell Life Solutions, broadcasting from D. Durrell The Rebirth, Sectors TV, and also with my brother BMT with the Black Balance Network. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in right now, bright and early. Want to give a shout out to Reigning Woman for being the first person to come in to the Conscious Clientele today early on this Thursday morning. I want to have an honest conversation with you all today. I want to have an honest conversation about my persona on YouTube, being a therapist in the Umar Johnson sector known as the Godfather, and just being D. Durrell. Because nobody wants to hear from me as a therapist. It's quite evident. I have content that I'm getting ready to create over the last 2 days in the manosphere. In my opinion, pretty much tells me nobody wants to listen to a therapist. You know what they want to listen to? They want to listen to niggas like Taz. They want to listen to niggas like BGS. They want to listen to the motherfucking fucking niggas like Ramil. They like to listen to dumb shit. That's what they like to listen to. You want to listen to motherfucking Coach Greg Adams and motherfucking Alpha Male Strategies and shit. They want to listen to motherfucking Lucario. They wanted to listen to motherfucking Kevin Samuels. That's obvious. They don't want to listen to someone who's not going to tell them what they want to hear, or you have to be entertaining with it. Your ass better be entertaining if you ain't telling me what the fuck I want to hear. And unfortunately, Ganakasi Takeover said AMS can't even pronounce toxic right. They want to listen to a nigga telling women they gonna have to lick my ass in order to get me back. That's what they want to listen to. To that. They don't want to listen to real information, solid information that's not under the presentation of presenting and shock value words, saying all kind of stuff to get your energy, just giving you useful information that can be utilized throughout your life. And I've been doing it for free for the most part. I have been doing it for free. No, ain't that some shit? Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Hold on, just with a meeting. Yeah, hold on, guys. So I'm back, guys. So I'm saying this because I've been in this space for 6 goddamn years. I've been in YouTube for 8 years, on and off. I didn't start really listening to YouTube. I mean, I listened to it like back in like the early stages of YouTube, but I didn't really start. When I first started listening to YouTube, I was listening to music every now and then and how-to videos back in maybe 2010, 2011, 12. I didn't start listening to this like sector level content, things like that, until 2014. I used to watch the Nollywood, and then I got a hit of the conscious community. But as a content creator, I've been creating content since 2017. I've been in the manosphere since 16. So I've been around a long time. I'm not new to this shit. I'm not new to this. And I've seen people come and go. I've seen people come and go. I've seen people get the bag. I've seen when the Essence crisis came and a host of people just left. And I've seen the fraudulent ass services that people charge. You got motherfuckers charging $200, $300, $400, $500 for consultations that they ain't even fucking qualified. That's above and beyond what a professional like myself in real life would charge for a consultation. My consultation fees, depending on what the issue is, thank you. Depending. No, I'm not manosphere. I'm not manosphere, but I've been in the space, Raining Woman. I'm really not, but I did manosphere content that wasn't red pill per se. And I from 2018 to 2020, I did manosphere content that talked about the manosphere. I supported only a couple of people, but as far as me being red pill and shit like that, no, I'm not that. I'm not that. Matter of fact, me and BMT kind of got away from them around the same time, cause all the crazy shit that they was doing and saying. They had to leave them alone. Yeah, but I'm not manosphere. I did manosphere content per se of how dumb a lot of these motherfuckers sound. But let me tell you about the latest experiences. And this is one of the reasons why I created this video today. Because in my latest experiences with why nobody wants to listen to a therapist, you got people, it came out of nowhere from the autism community. Which actually shocked me. Because I'm going to say this, the autism community in real life, in your normal life, in my practice, in my profession, they do not carry themselves and act in the manner as the autism community on YouTube and social media. And I've been reading up on the autism community online and how there are people who are displeased with the level of cult-like behavior that they demonstrate. They too love an echo chamber. They too believe, because they have a son, daughter, or whatever relative, that they are all of a sudden they become experts in every goddamn thing. I am a goddamn mental health professional, and there's still stuff that I'm steady learning and honing my skills and becoming better at. You're always growing, but not to these motherfuckers, not to the autism community online. Let me specify online. Because these people, they will argue you to the death. They will argue you down. Yes, demonic lounge. That's part of it. That is part of it. They don't like my persona. So fuck what? Respect my goddamn credentials. Respect my success. Respect my knowledge and education that you don't have. I don't need to be liked. And just because somebody, so you're telling me just because if you don't like someone, that means you're going to discount what they say, even if it's grounded in the truth? So that means you're only willing to listen to people you like. And if you don't like them, you're not willing to listen to shit regardless of what they accomplish. Does that make any sense, demonic lounge? Does that make any goddamn sense? I can tell you something that could benefit you and change your life. Oh, because I don't like the videos you do, D. Darrell. I don't want some nothing you have to say. Although what you're saying is the truth. Although what you're saying can really help me and help others I'm connected with, fuck that. I don't like you. That's the logic we use it on YouTube and social media. Well, actually, it's been longer than the last 2 days, but I had encounters in the manosphere, which I am going to be doing videos on. And I want to let you all know two people that I will be coming at for the next few weeks. BGS Ipmore, I'm going to be on your ass. Charles Faulkner and them fucking goons that you got, those dumbasses, I'm on your ass too and your channel. So be looking out for videos on BGS Ipmore and Sergeant Charles Faulkner. Disingenuous, hateful ass. Yes, and I'm going to explain. But before I get into them lame ass Negroes, let me go back to the autism community. I have done videos giving correction. Because there are people going around saying that they can self-diagnose themselves. Then I found out people claiming that they can self-diagnose themselves with autism is a lot more prevalent than what I thought. It's a culture of people who have unofficial diagnoses claiming that they have an illness that they don't have. And then, as I was reading articles, there is a national autism spectrum. Autism Speaks. That's the name of the nonprofit. There is a community or nonprofit organization that the autism community is not happy with. There has been recent research trying to figure out new treatments and come out with new medications. And then you got in the response of Autism Speaks trying to do these things, I read in the situation, in the article, where they have people responding to it and giving comments talking about, I don't have a problem. The environment has a problem with me. I don't want, autism is not a problem. It's me being me. I don't want a better medication. I don't want to get better. I don't want to slow down the progressive process of autism over time. I want to stay just as I am. This is the sentiment of some of these quote unquote. I don't know if the diagnoses are legitimate or not online. Matter of fact, I'm gonna maybe create a couple of more videos on autism, and I'm also gonna talk about other illnesses that are other DSM diagnoses that are similar to autism. And also, guys, I want you all to keep in mind, some of these people that got autism now, prior to the DSM taking Asperger's out and putting it on autism, they were diagnosed with Asperger's. And the only reason why they're saying they don't have Asperger's is because the DSM took it out. The DSM committee took it out. They put them on an autism spectrum. Nobody wants to talk about that. And I'm going to say this to those that are in the autism community that are listening. I want you to understand that from a clinical standpoint, outside of the information that you give in a clinical interview, in the diagnostic process, your opinion means nothing. You're not going to tell psychiatrists and psychologists how to treat autism and neurological and neurologists and so on. You're not going to tell master's level providers like myself how we are supposed to treat and diagnose and provide services. Even if a few of you all work in the field, nobody cares what you think from that standpoint. Your primary role should be education and support. Educate not only yourself but others, but also people who have likable situations, who have similar experiences. You are not the gatekeepers to autism. I don't give a damn how many years you've been dealing with an autistic person. Guys, I receive responses that were like 8 paragraphs long. I don't agree with you. I don't agree. This is not about me. When I provide counseling services, I don't care. I don't give the services, whether it's assessment, my clinical impression, based on what you like. And this is what you don't understand. If I base my practice and my clinical skills on what you like, you would never get better. Because what you like is not always good for you. The purpose is to make you hear, to let you hear and understand what you don't want to deal with, what you don't like. BMT says, I've done shows with D. Durrell where people have admitted abuse, sexual behavior, and other, and tried to argue with D. Durrell when he gave proper advice. That's facts. What's up, Samba Queen? She said the thing is people discount truth. If they don't like the truth teller, regardless of his or her credentials, it's unfortunate but true. Exactly. Shout out to Samba Queen. What's up, RZA lyricist? What's up, We on Lock? Pillsbury. What's up, Betty Yellett? BMT in the house. I'm sitting here like my interaction with the autism community has been highly disappointing. Highly disappointing. Because I am accustomed that when time to even talk about these things in the first place. As a licensed professional, I have treated people with autism for the last maybe 16 years, maybe I'm gonna say 13 to 16 years, probably 13 years, because it's been on and off. I treat them sporadically, and usually I see clients who are outside of between 2017 and 18. I was seeing high functioning autistic adolescents and adults. It's between 17 and 18 where I saw low functioning nonverbal for a little over a year. And I enjoyed it, but it was taxing. It was emotionally taxing. You would love to see an example of one of my session. Unfortunately, that would never happen. And you laughing because see you're not intelligent to understand that when I facilitate, I'm not acting like a goddamn YouTube content creator. That's a total difference. There are actually people on YouTube who actually think the way I talk on videos is the way I talk in a counseling session. Like really, they can't distinguish between the two. That's your problem, not mine. I know the difference, and I act accordingly. So yeah, there are several people, and some of these people I know very well. I've had interaction with. They did not like my view on autism. In my opinion, my response is that's tough. It's not going to change. I understand the sensitivity of saying certain words. I understand the fact that you internalize the fact that this is your child, this is your family member, and you want them to have a certain level of normalcy, as close as what they can get. But now you got people doing TikTok videos claiming they know every goddamn thing. And I actually read an article from the American Council Association that gave rise to that. But you think that was enough? Nope. We the autism community. I hate when outsiders tell us what to do. You in no position to decide how treatment. Now you can make a decision whether or not you want the treatment or not, but you in no position to tell the industry, the mental health industry as a whole, how it's supposed to deal with autistic children and adults. You're not. Exactly. Can't record no goddamn video. Even with consent, there will be some issues. It's called fucking HIPAA, right? Samba Queen. Exactly. Some deal with autism either in their own lives or in the lives of loved ones. So somehow they believe their experiences give them expertise they don't possess. And my thing is, yes, you can get trainings, you can get certifications, and that's you got to understand. Those certifications mean nothing. The certifications are saying that you basically mastered or been educated on information. Those certifications that they give. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing an autism spectrum certification, just so I'm gonna do it just to see what it's about, and maybe it can give me um, more insight to why the autistic community online acts in the manner that they act. Because this was alarming to me, man. It came from out of left field. And I was like, wow. But I found it interesting. I found it quite interesting in this situation. What's up, HM? Rizzo Lyricist said, the same ones who don't want to listen to a therapist in Black YouTube are the same ones who suffer from issues they go to see a therapist for. Facts. What's up, Propane? Propane said I would be laughing my ass off if I made Darrell my therapist. I wouldn't get through the session. Really? But I'm gonna sit here and say this, and I'm gonna move forward. I've been on numerous shows giving my expertise, and as BMT said, I've been argued a lot. Now, throughout the manosphere and other black spaces. Now, let me get to Mr. BGS and Charles Faulkner. Now, I decided to listen to Charles Faulkner. I listened to him like maybe in the clouds for the last 3 to 4 months, probably twice a week on average. Maybe sometimes more, but on average, because he goes live at night. And some of the stuff that Charles Faulkner says is true. I never really had a big issue with stuff that he may say about the black community. My biggest problem that Charles is lying his ass off, and he's very disingenuous when it comes to black women being the perpetrators of the dysfunction in the black community. And he does this with no pushback, right? Now, I've seen Charles go on other panels before acting a goddamn fool. He don't do it often. Or he goes into places that I deem as safe places where he knows no one is going to challenge what he's saying. And that's consistent with most of these fraudulent red pill practitioners in this sector. They don't like to be challenged on their ideas. They don't like to be challenged. And they sure in the hell don't like to be challenged by me. Two nights ago, and I'm going to do a review on this. 2 nights ago, I went over there, man, because I saw Chaos Reign. Shout out to my boy Chaos Reign. That's my boy. We've been knowing each other for a couple of years. Me and Chaos been real cool. Chaos has interviewed me on his show about mental health, about abuse, stuff on homosexuality, all kinds of stuff. Mental health. And I went over there, and they were like, and AJ, for those that know AJ, you see AJ over there by Reg the Bad Guy. Well, at least he used to be there all the time. I don't know if I haven't seen him there lately. And I went up there. They like, D. Darrell, go up there then. Now, these motherfuckers, now, I wasn't going to go up there. I just wanted to listen and give my little spiel in the chat. So I go up there. I'm giving you all the preview because I'm going to do a live stream on that. I got a thumbnail, I got a nice thumbnail created. And so I went in there, right? Before I said one fucking word, and I'm going to repeat. Before I said one word, don't you know, guys, that I think it was, I don't know if it was Rael or Mr. Z Then he had some other goofy ass Negro that I don't even know if he sound like it's just a lame. Said, so what are you gonna want to argue with us about, D. Durrell? What are you gonna take up for these people? He said something to that effect. I'm like, wait a minute. What made you think I came up here to be arguing with you? I came to have a discussion. You give your position, I give my position. Why is it so difficult for those who advocate for red pill ideology to want to argue with those that have an oppositional position? They don't know the difference. So the minute I didn't even say one word, they were already looking at me and talking to me because they know it's I am known in the space for being a person who tries to debate and debunk manosphere talking points. No matter where I go, I'm going to get that. And I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. So, I said, wow, whatever. And then before you know it, Charles Faulkner started asking questions and shit. Now, prior to me coming up, Rael, for those that know him, you know, the bitch ass Negro over there that he go from panel to panel saying all kind of crazy shit, and he always angry. And that's another thing. Why are you all so goddamn angry in the manosphere? You're angry about every goddamn thing. You're angry. What's up, Rob B? You're angry about every damn thing. Except being angry at yourself. The failures of yourself. Ray L was attempting to try to talk about, and and I hate when people try to sound smart. He was talking about attachment theory, which he basically tried to relate to black women causing kids not to feel secure, not to feel avoidant. You know, all the different, there's 5 styles of attachment theory. Man, this is like psychology 101. And he talked about, I think, 2 of them. But the problem with that is that he related that black kids develop this because of black women. Are you fucking kidding me, Rael? That shit has nothing to do whether or not you are a black woman. Any child of any race is going to experience some level of attachment theory. Attachment theory is defined pretty much after 6 months of a child living that they begin developing this. As far as the styles of attachment towards their mother or primary caregiver. Yes, Raining Woman, I'm still alive, baby. I'm still alive. Now, I sat there, and then he tried to use Pavlov's classical conditioning. And I said again, that has nothing to do with it. That's a misusage of 2 theories, attachment theory and classical conditioning. He misinterpreted and miseducated on both. I stated that point of view. And I'm sitting here like, just like they had another fool months ago was talking about the goddamn Madonna complex from Sigmund Freud. And I'm like, guys, quit trying to attach red pill talking points to psychology. Because if you understood truly the basis of psychology, you wouldn't be red pill in the first place. Red pill ideology defies psychology because it is, and has proven to be, an ineffective way to function based on your inability to gain access to women. And the thing about it, to be honest with you guys, I don't talk about attachment theory that much. Because I don't, I deal with kids. I don't deal with them as much as I used to. But when he said it, my antennas just went up. But as soon as I said something, as soon as I gave pushback, the Negro lost his mind. Then here comes Charles Faulkner, lying his ass off. And I know, and I'm going to say this. Everybody that I talk, let me preface this to those. Everybody that I talk to on that panel were from the East Coast for the most part. And we talked a lot about Baltimore and the Baltimore metropolitan area. So if there's anybody from that area, I know Dr. Bombay not here, one of my friends. But if anybody's from the East Coast, I'm talking around the Baltimore, New York, area, please put a 1 in the chat. If you're from the Baltimore area, Maryland area, DC area, please, I would like you all to put a 1 in the chat because I need to have a conversation with you right now. I need to have a small conversation with you. Let me repeat. If you're from the Baltimore area, DC area, the East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, whatever, Massachusetts, put a 1. Okay. Matter of fact, God knocker should take over. That's right. You are from Baltimore. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to send the link up, too. We about to have a conversation on this shit. Okay? Now, according, and God knocker should take over, because I know you may be able to speak to this. I was on the line with them, right? And we were talking about the community and how they claim black women are the destruction of the community. Okay, cool. So I got people from New York, Massachusetts. Okay. Oh, we got Boston here. We got everybody in here. Baltimore. Okay. We're good. So for the most part, according to Charles Faulkner, supposed to be the officer of the law per se, he claims that black women are getting Section 8 vouchers valued at get 6, thank you. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Are you sure?
All right. Excuse me. You have a nice day. Uh-huh. Okay. Now I'm back. He. Oh, here you go. Want to come in? Here you go. All right. So he basically stated that black women were getting Section 8 vouchers on average. I'm not talking about the exception. I'm not talking about relating to how many children you have. None of that. Off the rip, black women are getting $2,300 Section 8 vouchers and HUD vouchers. Now, please let me know if that's the truth or not, because I've never heard of that before in my life. And he was adamant that he was telling the truth. He claimed that the average black woman, they are basically, particularly in Baltimore, and they were like, D. Darrell, I seen it with my own eyes. I know these women. They're getting Section 8 vouchers, $2,200. They living in the ritzy parts of Baltimore and the suburbs. They're living better than me. They actually said this. And I'm like, Negro, are you serious? Yes, I know it ain't. The Negro sat there and said that the average black woman in Baltimore is getting a $2,200 Section 8 voucher. I'm like, nigga, you're lying your ass off. Ain't no way in hell with Baltimore that got well over 1.5 million people. And it's Baltimore is probably like 40, 45, 50% black. Is no way in hell they giving a percentage of black women, low income, $2,300 vouchers off the rip. It ain't even fucking true. Gynocracy Takeover, let me know what you think about that. You in the area. Then they tried to say this is all northeastern states, whether you in Mass, and this is why I'm talking to everybody else that's from New York, Boston, Philadelphia, because these are conservative states. This is what they do. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Exactly. Now, to me, now I got my brother, man. I wanted to consult with my brother K coaching because I know he in Baltimore, and I've done business in Baltimore. I got a guy that does some services out there, and I was actually looking at getting into the. I was actually thinking about getting into the market. I was actually thinking about getting into the Baltimore market. There's some things in Baltimore because I got some connections there where I could easily set up shop and do some things and make money. Right? I could easily. Okay. Alonzo Hall, the All-Star advisor, said, I know New York has a licensed real estate agent. As a licensed real estate agent, vouchers are like the example I gave. Okay. So $2,000 for a 2-bedroom a month. Then Hood Conservative talked about $1,200 here in Rochester. So how in the hell, but this is what I'm stating. How in the hell is the average, I'm talking the average black woman, who, by the way, ain't getting Section 8. The average black woman is not on Section 8. The average black woman is working. Even if she may have a Section 8 voucher, you know how hard. I'm like, Charles, do you know how difficult it is to get those vouchers and the waiting list? I'm like, Charles, quit lying. I'm just asking these niggas to stop lying. Just tell the truth. There's no need to lie. There's no need to make the community look worse than what it is, because that's what you're attempting to do. I kid you not, guys. I kid you not. That was the case. Not only that, he sat his muscle bone ass on his channel, nigga, and talked about how black women in Baltimore and in the Northeast are getting $100,000 to $130,000 worth of government aid, government benefits. Can you believe that? How the hell the government can afford to give black families, single mother led black families, $130,000 worth of benefits? I'm talking food stamps, TANF, housing, and whatever else you're trying to get. I'm like, dude, that's not true. Charles Faulkner is supposed to be a policeman. He is a policeman. I don't believe in not giving people their props for what they really are. He is a policeman. Okay. He on his panel, not challenged on nothing. Everybody in there, yeah. Got incels like Rael and Mr. Z and then you had everybody know old incel ass Gino Richardson hating his ass off the whole time I was up there. Gynocracy Takeover said, damn, what's going on with this? It's so hard. The shelters may make it hard if they give out vouchers. He tripping. Ain't no way. It take 8 months to a year. Man, I'm in Houston. Sometimes you may have to wait for years to get a goddamn Section 8 voucher. Ganaxi Takeover said, it's not that much aid at all. They just went out their way to take away all our welfare benefits to make everyone reapply. Hood Conservative said, food stamps, housing, healthcare, utilities for a family of four will be $100,000 at a minimum. No, it's not. Stop it. No, it's not. No one. Stop. I'm gonna tell you why it's not. First of all, they not giving you niggas that much food stamps. The only thing I could see equaling to $100,000 is the health care. That's if you got a child that's sick. In order for you to be accumulating that level of cost to the state, you have to have a child that or somebody in your family or multiple kids in the family or the mother has to have a chronic illness. So you're constantly getting Medicaid. You got Medicaid, and you're constantly going to the doctor because of Medicaid benefit because you have Medicaid. Let's take the health care out. Conservative. If you take the Medicaid out on health care, you're not getting no $100,000. I'm going to say you may get a $1,500 voucher. Your food stamps may be $700-800. Okay. Utilities, I know they can be expensive, particularly in the wintertime. I could see it equaling about maybe $60,000 if you're getting the utilities every month. But the majority of the cost is coming from the food stamps and the housing. and they're not giving everybody that amount, that kind of voucher. BMT says they actually shortened down the amount of food voucher money. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and send the goddamn link up. I'm gonna let y'all talk about it along with me. I got a little time today. Conservatives say $1,200 in rent, $1,000 in food per month. You can't take out health care. It's free. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, but the health care is free, but it's not free to the state. The state still has to account for those charges, the amount that's being billed in Medicaid benefits. You have to account for the cost because providers are getting paid. Providers are getting paid for the services they provide. So we can't discount that. And that's just the facts. Those are the facts. BMT says my friend has 5 kids and her family only gets 600 to 700, 650 to 700, but the food cost rise ain't much. Yeah. Red pill say 40 to 60. Conservatives say a family of 4. What about a family? Come on, man. Stop, man. How many people you know got a family of 6 or 7? Man, I'm trying to look at the typical average, man. Y'all tripping. Quit capping. So the average black woman don't have 5 or 6 children. Or 6. She ain't got no 5 or 6 children. Let's stop. Red pill finance said, what the fuck? You're not getting 100K from the government. Again, guys, and I'm going to do a video on this. He said, and Charles, if you're listening, I know your ass probably listening because you ain't got shit else to do besides terrorizing black folks in Baltimore. They're not getting $130,000 in benefits. And then they also attempted to conflate that all of these black women are going to school, getting all this free education from everybody. I'm like, where does all this free shit come from? Am I missing something? And I posed the question. I'm gonna let Alonzo Hall speak. There are a lot of people from the Northeast that are moving to the South, particularly like Atlanta and Georgia. They moving to Texas in droves from everywhere, all across the country. So explain to me, if shit is that good and they getting all this free stuff, why are they moving out of the Northeast? In certain communities, they're moving out. What's up, Alonzo?
What's going on, D-Darrell? Thank you for having this conversation and bringing light, man, because I hang out with some of these dudes on YouTube. But we talk other things in terms of business. I wanted to try and bring a little bit of clarity to the housing voucher stuff. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I said good. I'm glad you were doing that. Good.
So, I no longer practice, but I have my New York State real estate license.
Okay.
And one of the things that was huge, so there is some validity to their argument of a lot of benefits and features being offered to women from the
Right.
government. This 100 grand, I don't know about that, but
Well, I agree with them on the fact that there are government entitlements and benefits that are allocated towards women and families. I get that, and they're able to get it. But let's not. I told them this, and this was my main argument. Let's not put out false information and exaggerate the benefits of what's being done, because it's a process to get those vouchers.
yeah, it's so here's the thing. Right. Number one, getting those vouchers. So first of all, like you were saying, let's take that what you were saying, Charles said about $2,300 off the rip. So let's just say that that's an actual figure, and that's highly plausible. If they're giving you $2,300, that's for, like Conservative was saying, that's for that family of 6 or 7. So that $2,300 is equivalent on the market to a 2-bedroom apartment. But for a family of 6 or 7 who needs a 4-bedroom apartment, what's $2,300 going to do other than nothing? Right? Because they need $5,000-$6,000 for a 5, 6, 7-bedroom apartment, which they're not going to get.
Right.
Now, in terms of, with vouchers, again, in New York City, I've seen, some young ladies get vouchers, and not only do they get housing vouchers, this is where they're likely talking about things like the 100K, which is still way off. They do get some benefits. I've seen women been able to go shop at places like Raymore and Flanagan, which is a high-end furniture store, because they give them a furniture voucher to furnish their homes. But how else are they supposed to do it? Because, and this is something that I didn't even think about, but generally, like you said, even when they're getting these housing vouchers, and again, as a realtor, I had to deal with these people and interact, they still had to go to work. I have a bunch of young ladies who work at Starbucks, and they're on what's called City FEPS in New York, which City FEPS is a program where they'll give you a housing voucher, but you're required to work and you have to pay up to 30% of the rent. You get a maximum of 5 years, which is why generally the waiting lists are 3 to 5 years for people to get allowed their voucher, because you got to wait for somebody else's voucher to run out. And so you have to sit in these terrible housing shelters, and yeah, they have a bunch of these, women's shelters too. But bro, those junks ain't even cool. Like I've been in East New York going to do my laundry, and I've had chicks literally walk up to me out the blue and ask me, "Hey, can you walk me back to the shelter? Because I got this guy who won't leave me alone." Because I've known some of these ladies personally, and they kind of do what they have to do to make money, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So, there have been situations, and I'm, close friends with some of these young ladies. I know what they do, but yeah, hey, I am not gonna, judge you. You're still a person, and we'll hang out. But so they'll get crazy pressure from, oh, this guy won't leave me alone. He thinks it's a longer date. He got his $100 off. Now go. And so there's a lot of craziness and things that people end up susceptible to, just from being in the shelters. And then you have to realize that they have to have their family here. So it's not just them, it is their kids.
Right.
And the men are also allowed in these, because one misconception is that the men aren't allowed in the family or the family shelters. Again, I'm only speaking on New York City. They are allowed in the family shelters in New York City. I know because I have relatives who went through the entire process of the 3-year waiting period, living in the shelter, being housed, getting, my sister-in-law is actually a case manager. And again, when you're placing these people, not only is it the difficulty to get program.
Yeah, I can hear you, Debunking.
Oh, did I blank out?
Look, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because I wanted to ask you a question.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you was, because see, you just stated something that I think can be very useful in regards to this myth about black men not being able to gotta leave the home. Is there some kind of documentation or certain facilities that I can verify that? Proof of that?
That men needed to leave the home
No,
or
no, no,
not be
no.
there?
No. You stated that in some of these shelters that the men can stay. They don't have to leave.
Right.
So is there any way I can verify that?
That's not true.
I'm not
There's no
1,000%.
shelter where a man. You're talking about the family stay together or a man
About the
staying
family.
in
Yeah,
the
are you talking about the family shelters? But there's
Yeah,
not.
the family shelters.
It's separate though.
Yeah, those
They
are
don't.
separate. Yeah, but I listen, and I'm going to disclose for myself. I stayed at a VA shelter when I was going through my PTSD. So don't worry, I'm not so I know a lot about shelter life. And even when I was younger, I was homeless. So I know what it's like to be in a shelter. You rarely see it where man, woman, and child are all staying together. Like you might have
Yeah,
a woman shelter where she could keep her child, and then sometimes, hell, the woman sometimes they'll even ask her, can the child stay with a family member because she has to go to classes and stuff, or sometimes you can take your child with you, but for the most part, I rarely see whole intact families going to shelters like that. Like that's just not something that holistically happened.
So is
And
that
I
like
was in a VA shelter.
is that
No,
maybe
yeah, no, I was talking about family shelters for
Okay.
clarity.
so it's designed for families, pretty much.
Even family shelters, that all that stuff is split up. And the men stay in one spot, the women stay in the other spot. Like when I went to the shelter in Colombia when I was 18, it was a man's side and it was like a woman's side. But we could not go in the men's area, the men couldn't go in the women's area. And then you had the area where the women and her children stay. So they can get up, and then when we eat breakfast, they can sit together, and we'll get dropped off to the same place. But it wasn't like they all standing. That you don't never see that. They don't play
No,
that.
you absolutely do see that in New York City. So they have actual family shelters where.
So
Yeah,
how? But what I'm asking is there a way that I could verify? Because I would like to do content on that.
I'm pretty sure you could just check out NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority.
Right. I would say you could probably ask around or call around.
Okay.
Darrell.
Okay.
But some of the houses are pretty sensitive because, like I will say this for like some of the women I know that I've taken there, like they go there because they don't want to be found by certain abuse, and God obviously can tell you some of them don't want to be bothered. Like it's kind of a sensitive area,
Yeah, but I can get in a little easy because I have a government, I have a social service,
right?
So I kind of have an ability to get in places that like the typical person, and once I explain the type of business I have and providing services, they're a little bit more lax in being that I'm verifiable as having a counseling agency and treating people who seek those type of services. So I may be able to. Well, my experience is for things like that, they're more apt to give me more information, being that I'm in the field, kind of doing things within that realm.
Right.
I'll also see if I can bring the person who actually lived in the shelter with his wife and kids up one day.
Like for me, I could tell you, and I'm gonna show you right now. Let me show I don't. This right here. I'm not sure if y'all know what this is. God, obviously, you should know what this is. This is a PEBT card. They were handing these out during COVID for children, for families with children, because they knew that food stamps, it wasn't really that much. Food had drastically went up. Didn't matter who you were, if you had kids, your pockets were hurting really badly, really badly. And I remember when I was going over that, saying, "Hey, even men, y'all can get this. If y'all have children, y'all need to go down there by the school and go fill out the forms, so that way."
If men that be down there filling it out.
There be men getting food stamps. Don't believe that there are men getting food stamps and housing also. I don't know why they never
Yeah.
say that, but I know some brothers that can put you on game.
I always see at least one black man trying to talk about he on the autism spectrum and he got ADHD trying to get on it. Now it might be that is definitely valid, but I'm saying here like the black man is fucked up too. But it's only but so many that get them resources, and I do feel like a lot of our men need those resources. But that's where this conversation gets sticky because it's just like it's just like, do we want our black men to pull themselves up out of their bootstraps, or do we want them to get some type of help, or will it make them stay?
I'm gonna say this honestly, and this is and be honest as for black men. This ain't me beating up on black men. Don't like admitting when they're drowning. If that makes any sense, like
yeah,
the women don't have, and the women don't have a problem saying I need help. The men will try to fake it till they make it, knowing like, bro, you need to go into that shelter, bro. Like, you need to go in there rather than try to lay up under a woman. You need to go into that shelter, go into the program, let them take you through the stuff and get you the help you need, and then you could probably get back on your feet. It's not an easy process, but I know men I have tried to push in those programs, and they say, "Nah, I'm not going. Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do, or no woman gonna tell me what to do." Then I'm like, then dang, I don't know what else we can do. Because I know plenty of guys that literally I did a video, D-Darrell, of a halfway house for black men. The men in this space, they didn't give a damn about that halfway house. They didn't care about trying to help those brothers.
Exactly.
They talk about they want to do meetups and all that stuff. You would think you want to help the brothers in the halfway house.
Mm.
They really don't care about black men. That's the thing that needs to be talked about. When you look at the manosphere space itself, and I tell people all the time, being in the manosphere, you don't have to be red pill to be in the manosphere. There are people that talk about tech, they do other stuff, and those are not the bigger channels. Whenever it comes to issues that can help assist in any manner towards black men or black boys, they don't listen to that. They want to hear about it's a black woman's fault for every goddamn thing. If you're not talking about that, they don't want to hear it. And then, but the thing about it, when you tell them that, they want to get mad and upset and say somebody need to hold them again. I'm like, listen, you cannot, a black man, I'm gonna say this. You cannot hold somebody accountable that is not going to hold themselves accountable. So it's a waste of time thinking that somebody's going to hold somebody. You can't hold me accountable until I hold myself. If I don't value myself to change, I'm not willing to listen to those that can provide me with ways to change.
What they mean is they want them to start crying like on Kevin Samuels, because that's a lie. That it's not that much. You don't get that much for a voucher. No matter how many kids you have, it is based off how many kids you have. And even still, that amount, you might not be able to find a place. Like, for instance, mine was $1,650 for a 2-bedroom. I still didn't get all the bells and whistles and all the utilities and benefits because I never had a rental history. So I had to move kind of like, in a place that I really didn't want to. But at the same time, I'm like, well, this is pretty nice for my first place. But a lot of women losing their vouchers in certain states, like you see it all over the news, because they get that voucher and they think they supposed to be somewhere so better. And it's like, no, you gotta have a starting point. Okay, right. And then you gotta work your way up. You're gonna get a house. It's even real estate programs for Section 8. So that way you can become a real estate agent and you can own your house, all that shit. But it's gonna take time. You're gonna have to have a starting point. Everything takes time.
I could tell you right now, for me, and a lot of people who know me in the space, I run properties, and I'm a property manager, and we have housing. For me to be able to allow somebody with a housing voucher to stay there, I have to meet state requirements.
Standards,
and they're going to send somebody from the state to walk through that whole place and have to meet that. Okay, is this safe for a child? Is there like a ramp just in case we have a person who can't get up like through the stairs? Like, I literally have to, and some people, I'm gonna be honest, on the other side, they turn down people with vouchers
because they discriminate.
Yeah, they do, and that's what I was saying.
They turn down people with vouchers.
And see, so I want to ask, because he named a very, and I didn't know how true this was. The general, I mean not the general, because he was up there too, but what's the guy? Oh, Charles Faulkner. He's in Baltimore. He's a cop in Baltimore. He was saying that, like, are you restricted when you get these vouchers to be in certain areas? Because he was naming it was an upscale area in Baltimore. I think start with a C, something like that. Something he was naming.
It's very restricted. It's a lot of discrimination, and you is restricted because a lot of them areas with money, they'll just tell you to leave. Because here's the thing about a city like Baltimore. I don't know about no other place. I'm born and raised in Baltimore. It's very segregated, but it's right in your face. You'll have a very nice building in the middle of Lexington Market. Lexington Market is where all the fiends go to lean out and stuff like that. And then they got, they sell food outside that market. But in that market, they used to sell off slaves. But why is it this rich, fancy place in the middle of that market and stuff like that? And then they had it listed for a certain price. And I thought I could go up in there. And I'm like, y'all right by Lexington Market. I thought this was somewhere that took vouchers. They don't. But it's right there by somewhere where Black Fiends is just sitting there nodding out. So you just don't know. So while he talking shit, he might have been looking at an apartment, a high-scale apartment that's in a bummy-ass place. But them white people don't care. They want the benefit of living so rich and prosperous and stuff like that. But they look down at everybody that's fiend out and shit like that. And that's poor.
Right. So
right
he was naming, talking about these exclusive areas of Baltimore. This is they getting vouchers to afford to live in these exclusive apartments. And I'm like, are you serious?
No, it's not like that.
And them apartments be $3,000 a person, not a month, a person.
I'm gonna be honest and tell you right now, and this is no shade. When we had it in our town, that they were asking that we're talking about building a new public housing apartment. I'm not going to lie. We did vote against it. We voted against it. Usually, when people start hearing about public housing being built, it gets brought before a board, and it's going to be a vote for yay or nay, or hey guys, can we do this? You get sleazy slumlords at times that will abuse or mistreat. You'll have certain types of entities move in to those areas where people are supposed to be getting back on their feet and bring drugs, gangs, prostitution, and different other things. It gets really hectic. And that's when it starts getting murky waters. So
yeah, but you know what's fucked up? I'm going to cut you off, BMT.
No, go ahead.
The people that sell drugs is not even the people that live around this motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, who the fuck is you? You don't live here.
I know in terms of New York, in terms of restrictions, there's not exactly restrictions, but here's the thing. Again, number one, like BMT and Ganocracy Takeover was saying, people are very discriminatory. Again, as a licensed agent, right, I have to sit there and sell the apartment or the client to the landlord. And just like BMT said, there's an inspection that has to go on. People don't want to go through the state inspection because if the state comes through and looks and says you got to fix stuff, now you got to come out of pocket to fix stuff. And you're not always going to get market rate. Remember, Bloomberg shut down the voucher programs for a while and people weren't getting their rent from the state. But there's not exactly a restriction as to where you can live. But again, being priced out and, is based on children. So if you've got 4 kids, but the market rate for when I was selling real estate in 2017, a 1-bedroom in Brooklyn was $1,900. And your voucher is $2,300, but you need 4 bedrooms, and a 1-bedroom is $1,900. How far is that $2,300 gonna go? Right? So it's not like you can realistically get into these ritzy areas. Now, the trick to that is there were a lot of men who were generally Caucasian veterans or drug addicts who would get single housing vouchers and be able to go into efficiency apartments in these more ritzy areas. And that does skew the statistics.
I would want to say this. I'm going to tell you this right now. And this is where we have the disingenuous talk, but I've been doing property for a while. So when people say, well, somebody gets a 3,000 housing voucher, and then I would say, well, where are they at?
That's what I want to do.
Because then you got to ask the question, how far does $2,000 get you in New York? How far does $3,000 get? You see what I'm saying? Depending on the area where you at, then you're gonna have to start assessing. It's not like you're saying, well, they give you $3,000 and they put you in Atlanta. No, you gotta look at the market of where that house or that apartment is at, and then the how the property is. And I can tell you right now, I've seen some Indian housing that they're over like, and I'm like, dang, dude, like Kyle, I don't feel cool dropping you off here, son. Like, this is where you stay? Yeah, this is where me and my mom stay. And I'll be like, no way. And I had to tell people like, hey man, you're supposed to fix that electrical. You're supposed to fix that. Like, it's not up to standard. And see, that's another reason why they have been shutting down a lot of public housing, because they're finding out that, hey, these people have been collecting checks, but they're not actually having the people live up to a certain standard. Where you have the water, fleas, bed bugs, and all that. I've seen some horror stories of some places of how they have a lot of these people living. And then mind you, people like, I don't got nowhere to go. So I got to just deal with it. And so
Section 8, and then they gotta. Then I feel like it's also a disconnect, because I feel like black people, they'll just live with something. It won't say shit too, because even in the place I'm at, like, it's certain stuff that should have been reported to housing that they was going through. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why live like that? You can report that. If it's enough people, Section 8 is supposed to protect you. At least I don't know.
But see, gynocracy, how many times have you heard, and this is, you and I could both wink at this one, have people felt like, if I keep complaining, they're going to kick me out. Me out. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, D-Darrell. When you start complaining too much, I got to get rid of this person, because they're making me work or costing me money. And so this actually does happen. See, this is why there is a disconnect with people say, oh, them women, or they got it easy. But see, you don't know actually the process of what's actually going on, man. And like, it's a lot of bad stuff that goes on behind there. Like, understand, people already, the minute you hear that they're getting some type of assistance, they already get a downward look on them, like they're not human anymore. And that's not true. Like, I mean, when I was younger, I had food stamps. So what y'all gotta say about me? I have food stamps. It is what it is. You know, a woman took me to the DSS office, say, hey, this brother, he doesn't have no food in his refrigerator, and she helped me get it. I got $275 of food stamps.
Right.
So I was surprised. I got taken back when I found my old food stamp card at my mama's house. I said, dang, boy, I came a long way. But see, here's the thing about it. Once you start making a certain amount of money, because that's the thing about when you are getting any type of assistance, you have to fill out forms, and they're going to ask you about your income, how many people are in your house, and X, Y, and Z. And they actually will do backgrounds, and they are very thorough now in doing a background check. So once you start making a certain amount of money, they start trickling down on how much you can get. And that's the thing about, I know some women who have 1 to 2 kids, and guess what? They might have a partner at one point, then the partner leaves them. Oh shoot, now I got to handle all the bills by myself and the child. So, but they're already looking at the household one type of status. The system is definitely not perfect. So what happens is they're going to be like, well, we're going to be pushing you off of food stamps. Wait, that's not cool. Like, I just because I make over $1,000 at Amazon, yeah, but you make too much money. So a lot of people don't even get that much. And I got to be fair with y'all. Do y'all know how much goddamn milk costs? Eggs? Like go
$4.
like go, y'all. I'm not sure people do lately, bro. But it's real out here, man. It is real out here at the grocery stores, man. Like the food, like these vouchers ain't hitting nothing anymore. Like they really ain't. Y'all think gas is bad? Y'all must be not eating. Y'all must be eating on bread, air, and water.
And it's been like that for a while. This ain't just start. This been like this for like what, 3, 4, 5 months?
Years.
6 months?
Shit, years, bro. Food been going crazy.
So help me understand, because this is my problem with the manosphere. Is like they want to claim they're supposed to be brothers of, supposed to have this insight and intelligence, But it's like I'm sitting here hearing Charles fucking a lie. Okay, and it's almost like when you question the lie, there's a problem. Now, when you sit up there and say black women getting 130 on average, I'm not talking about, let's say 2% of those that get benefits, are getting $2,500, vouchers and $800 to $1,000 worth of food stamps and all this kind of stuff. But when you're sitting here and telling me that the average person is getting $130,000 worth of benefits, I'm sorry, man. That don't make no sense. How the hell you getting $130,000 worth of benefits?
You barely get 30,000 a year. What? Barely get 12,000. What is he talking about? Like, is he talking about as far as like
more for prison population than they do for quote unquote entitlement programs? We do realize that. Like, I mean, if we want to say something, if we look at all the black men that are locked up for all intents and purposes, getting free housing and food and free infirmary visits from doing dumb shit to get locked up. I mean, technically, we could call that an entitlement program. You know how many, for lack of a better term, I guess I'll use a RBR term, noon kiggers I've seen who do dumb shit to get locked up. And I know a dude who gets locked up every other week. I got a group of homeboys, 3 brothers. They're never all out together. They're always, one's in jail. And they're all about 40 now.
Right.
You got to understand, and that's the thing about it is this, man. And I'm all for accountability. I am, but I'm telling you, and you can also go hit up Faith. Faith did a show, actually going over black men can get on public housing and food stamps and everything. Right. And a lot of women were taken back, a little bit surprising about that show. But she was showing that, getting a public assistance is not based on gender.
It's sure ain't. And that's what I was trying to tell them, that because I know I've had plenty of clients that I have seen through community mental health, men, and especially men and women, particularly men, that are getting just as many benefits as anybody.
Right. Like there I know a lot of men that your mama had already kept you on the insurance. You know how many black men are still on their mama's insurance? Still on their mama's insurance? Still on, like, getting help with different types of assistance because their mama put them down?
Right.
Mama, what's my insurance card? Boy, I got it at my house. Come on by. Hell, I even filled it out for your children too. Like, there's a lot of black men that are like that. I know we don't want to admit that, but I done seen a lot of stuff, especially at the job. So the issue is the have and have nots. As a man, I'm not going to be jealous of what women are getting versus that of me as a man of what I know I can do. And I know y'all talk about equality, but I'm sorry, man. Like, this, you got to be holistic to you. Like, those programs were made by men for women, and then after that for families. And then after that they start expounding and say, okay, men, y'all need help, but men don't holistically go into the program. I know y'all like bringing up about the homeless situation, but there actually are more homeless women and children on the street, and people don't want to actually admit that. But I actually showed. Go look at these go by some of these hotels. You'd be surprised who are staying up in the hotels like that. And it's some pretty grim situations. It is what it is, man. You got runaways, you got mental health issues, you got people who have that they messed up their credit, so they can't get into place. You know this, and I know this, D. Darrell, especially.
Yeah, I just told them, man, and this is the thing, man. I mentioned to them that early this year and last year. No, it was in 21. It was, actually this happened in 20 and 2021. I helped a runaway that was 16 from Baltimore. I got a referral because somebody saw me on the internet and they asked me, and I actually did content about it with K Coaching. Now, for those that know K, he does K Business Coaching. They were in Baltimore. I helped her, get counseling and everything, help the parent, her reconnect with her mom and all that stuff. Then there was another lady that I helped from that same area. I don't think she lives not in the city of Baltimore, but it was somewhere in the surrounding area in that county. She was looking for housing. At my group home, I was going to provide housing for her to move to Houston so she could stay at my group home that I have. And it didn't work out, but I got in contact, and the thing about it, the issue with her, she had problems finding and getting access to assistance. That's why she wanted to leave. She felt like she had nowhere to go, and she didn't want to be on the streets anymore.
And that's where they fall back, and that's where a lot of them fall back into bad activity. I have a few girls that I can put on that if you want to talk to them, that are escorts, and they could tell you like, yo, like, this was my last turn. Like, you know how many men come by the halfway houses, and gynecology could tell you, that will try to say, hey, baby, don't worry, I can take you out of this place. I can get you out of here. And, we have to tell, I got to tell a lot of the Hebrew Israelites, yo, dude, y'all please stop preaching y'all bullshit around these goddamn houses and shit, saying that y'all can take them out of oppression. Then you take them to your internment camp. That ain't I'm just being honest, man. Like, we see a lot of it happen. We see a lot of it happen. Like, we gotta have.
Hey, John 3-15.
Yeah, in Baltimore, you're gonna get fucked up
said,
trying to come around the shelter with that bullshit. Okay. Where I was at, we was with.
and he who said the white man is evil. No, let me stop.
But see when people are down on their luck, they'll look for anything to grab onto sometimes just to get out of their situation. Like I said, and I was a veteran. I know what it's like to listen to crying at nighttime while you're laying in that cot. And you hear a lot of crying. You got to watch your shit, because people will try to go into your shit if you ain't careful. Like
I
these things.
purposely had my shit crazy so that way can't nobody go under my bed, because the way it was because it wasn't a pick and go. Like, we could stay all day, but we had a curfew. But I would leave my shit in bags. Like, you was going to sweat if you was going to try to steal from me. Like, so.
But you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, guy? Like, some people, all they have of their belongings is in one bag. And people will take that shit and pawn it off. Like, they'll take their wedding ring, or they'll take there's something that they had of something that's keeping them mentally grounded, and people will take your shit. So when people say, well, people got it easy, I'm like, you say that because you haven't been there. You haven't been punched in the mouth like they have been. And some people, they'll try to get off of drugs. I'm sure you've seen them, D. Darrell, and they keep on recycling right back on into those processes. It's not easy, whether it be drug abuse, sexual abuse. This is why I do not like when people come on these panels and they have traumatic issues, and they start telling people that you don't know, like versus somebody who actually licensed. And then you got people saying, well, of course, they can just say that and there's no repercussion. Dude, they're already going through it bad enough, man. Like, they're already getting screwed over horribly. So, it was one. I think one person started talking about how, I think it was a few years back, we had a few men that were laughing at a girl. Remember that video, Dita, we did with the girl and her dad and stepmom were abusing her? And the men were happy about it. And I said, damn, this is fucked up. No, it was crazy. Mind you, because of that video, they moved the girl to a safe home out of that home that she was in with her father and the mother. and the stepmother, because she was getting abused that badly, where they were pulling her hair, they pulling her on the ground, laying on top of her and screaming at her, all on camera and shit, because she kept running away and they kept catching her and bringing her back. So this is those situations that do happen where I don't feel like I have anywhere to go. So this is why I don't try to judge too harshly. I think one girl, and she already told the story. She felt like she was pregnant and her family was forcing her to have the baby, so she took her own life because she was like, I can't do this. I have no help. Nobody's going to help me get out of my situation, and they want me to carry this child. So she took her own life because she kept trying to run away from the situation where she just gave up.
Horrible.
And so, but you know, the thing that's horrible about it, what she really messed up was people were dragging her on Facebook about it, where it's like, damn, I got no other. This is my only option. So when we have these things, people don't understand. You know,
I knew people like that too.
there are people, yeah, and it's sad. People, they're like, well, that's why I looked at the irresponsibility. When people said, Nita, why don't you record your counseling session? Are you fucking crazy? Nobody wants a camera on them when they're at the low. Nobody wants a camera on them when they're going through those kind of traumas and they have it all posted online. Like, no offense, online is not the safest place for people. Like, we see more people have been killing themselves lately because they've been online and getting like dragged. And it's already bad enough as it is. So this is why I'm saying, man, like I said, Didero, you good. But you
Everybody's jealous of me, so that's why I look at it as jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like a lot of our elders tell us from time to time that people is jealous and just gonna say shit just to say shit. But people really take that shit to heart, and I don't understand why. Because they still have their following. People still following. People don't give a fuck. People phony. Right. People fuck with you and the other person. That's the weird thing about the internet. And if you don't see that, and if you don't inquire about it, then you just got to be in tune with yourself, in tune with what's going on. Nobody cares. People just nosy. So people still gonna rock with you. You still going. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to get canceled online. I guess just keep vibing. I mean, it's motherfuckers on here that have egregious shit in their background, and they still get 1,000 in the chat. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, we got sexual predators. You got, we got I think one of the stakes that got D. Darrell in trouble was he was calling out sexual predators in the space that are live content creators, and I was like, damn, how are they still getting on panels? How are they still getting clout? Like, these people they normally have records. Now, these are the same people that are saying that, hey, it's the women's fault. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, we got to come out of that mind. Like, listen, I get it. People do bad shit, but we got to start looking at what's going on as a whole, man. Like, that shit is getting very egregious and it's getting really bad. So, you have some pretty reckless behavior of shit going on in these spaces. You know what I'm saying? And dudes will say, well, the young girl, she tricked the man. What the fuck? How does a child trick a man? How does a child that is 13 trick a man? I think you saw the show, Ganapsi.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Like,
ridiculous.
Wait, 13-year-old child tricking a man.
Exactly.
What
says about him?
What?
Ain't no 13-year-old child tricking no fucking man. Sinful to pee, weird ass. Still with 1,000 in the chat. I'm sitting here looking like, what the hell? Child,
I ain't never seen a situation, and this speaks to the fuckery. They tried to criticize the black community as far as when we go to jail, we throwing parties, or when they come out, they throw parties. This Negro hardcore Tito came out. These niggas was giving him jailhouse letters and emails. When he come out, they tried to act like he was the second coming.
I heard something about this Negro.
Even Taz gave him a shout out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
looked
that's
at this dude
how
like
I heard about him.
They looked at this dude like he was some kind of political prisoner of the gynocracy, and he finally got his freedom and withheld all of the withheld through all of the pain and suffering that the gynocracy caused him for 2 or 3 years.
I
And
just
now
want to say something real quick. The manosphere is apparently a very this is the strange thing. Because like you said, there's people in the manosphere who aren't about all this craziness. And so, like, for example, I had ended up because I was going to join a debate league with Taz, and I had went up and I talked to him, and I was like, yeah, I frequent the manosphere. He was like, oh, really? What do they talk about? And I didn't know that there was like all these weird ass talking points.
yeah.
Like, because you got men who want to come and be affiliated because we're like, oh, it's a space, it's black men having, intellectual conversations, places where men do, debates and stuff. And, so I was like, oh, cool. But then there is a lot of this women talk, and a lot of the guys do that. And there's a space for that. And I understand where they may be coming from in terms of what they call BMA, black male advocacy. But a lot of these talking points are things from, so apparently there's this guy named Rollo Tomasi, who's some big red pill talking guy.
Right.
I am familiar with him from Wall Street.
Right.
But he doesn't really get respected on Wall Street. He's so my what the major or mainstream world sees white manosphere and black manosphere as specifically white manosphere, so vis-a-vis black manosphere as the weak throwaway men, quote unquote lame, if you will. Yeah, Rollo Tomasi's got some money, but you're not gonna see him with Jim Cramer. You know what I mean? So,
but I would
sorry,
ask you this, Alonzo. If a man were to come who has some money and start coming out and telling you how he was having sex with young underage women, he was pulling what R. Kelly did, would you do any business with him?
I mean, listen, I ain't trying to get into your personal business, so I'd ask him to refrain telling me about that shit. But I'm not trying to interact with that type of stuff. Like that, unless he's gonna make me, the richest man on earth. There's a lot of other rich people who ain't pedos, and I have a situation. My grandfather recently came home from jail for pedophiling my little cousin. So I definitely don't rock with that type of shit. I likely wanted to go, kill my grandfather. So, I
That's how I feel about my uncle. He was all over the news after I gave birth to my first son. And I'm like, what the fuck? Then family members started coming out saying that they was touched by him. I'm like, what the fuck? He was touching somebody white, a little 10-year-old boy, 5 years old. 5 years. He was doing it. And my grandfather kept it crazy.
So here's the thing about it. So here's the thing about it. I'm all for black men being in their proper place, but there has to be an accountability stick. When you see men that are going to bat for Glendon Cameron, and man, that was some horrifying shit.
Yeah, that shit was horrible.
That was some horrifying shit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And so I'm like,
he publicly admitted to predatory behavior towards a 15-year-old. Publicly.
Damn.
And he did it with a smile on his face.
He said, but now here's the thing about it that blew my mind. The men were like, well, where was the father? Wait, that's your only comeback for that? No, this man.
That's what Ramel be saying. He'd be like, where the little bitch mother, and that's what they be saying. That's the excuses they make. It's very strange.
And I'm like, y'all wonder why a lot of these kids are fucked up. Y'all wonder why a lot of things, like, if you can't hold these men in your own diaphragm and say, yo, man, like, we don't get down, we don't move like that. how are you supposed to say, well, we need to check the women? Hold up, bro. Like, you got the women already doing what they got to do on the women's side. It's just that you don't support them. But then you also have it where, I'm not gonna lie, some of these women, and y'all know who y'all are. Y'all be saying some crazy ass shit because let's just be honest, the other women see y'all full of shit, and they'll say anything.
You
Oh,
say
these women are calling
I'm
out the
black,
other women. No, they're not.
when you
They're
say
just running
like
game.
I'm black male identified, what the hell is that? That is
I
some of the
don't know.
dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. That sounds like something a transsexual would say.
That I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's what some people, the other lifestyle, they were thinking like, hey, are they gay too or something like? I said, I don't know, man.
Damn.
Maybe they're LGBT. I mean, I get it, but some of the stuff you got to start putting into question. So the women that agree with the men, right? Those women are seen as allies. But then the minute they say something that is of accountability towards the men, then they're a problem. So if I'm your friend, you should have no problem with me calling out the problem. So I guess you just wanted to hear the feel good speech versus that of the women, they have it on their side where they call those women whatever kind of names and shit. And see, that's why, like I said, man, like you're not gonna get like these men don't want to like. If I never saw all these goddamn attorneys and lawyers in this goddamn space. Ain't none of y'all Negroes ever went to family court.
Mm-hmm.
We never heard none of y'all ever go to family court, never go to petition for your kids. Well, that's because women automatically get the kids. That's not true. That's not true. I know a lot of fathers, actually in this space, Jay Shine, OG, Jay Speed, goddamn, who else? L. Nixon. We know a lot of men in this space that have the kids. Why don't y'all ever listen to them? Oh, right, because they're balanced. There's a balance to the shit. They want to hear goddamn the feel good me. Feel good to tell me stuff. Hell, even Charles got his son. And I talked to Charles. Charles has his kid. So the thing about it is, are y'all trying to get your kids, or y'all holistically just don't want to pay child support? And that's something I always ask a lot of men. You could just tell a brother straight up, like, hey, you just don't want to pay child support? Well, why do I got to pay child support? Why is she going to the state? Well, nigga, that's your child. Maybe if you work it out. Well, y'all know these bitches can't be trusted, but you laid with the bitch. You impregnated her 2 to 3 times. There must have been something you liked about her. You can't be
You know what
laying up with
pisses
her.
me off more
They
than the
be
damn
mad because
child
they
support
expect to be
conversation?
barefoot and pregnant in the house.
But I don't
Some of them
understand
be
this.
some men be trying to trap women and it don't work out and they be mad.
Yeah,
Like,
that
Right?
happens.
They're intentionally trying to get them pregnant. And I'm gonna say this: I don't understand how, like when I was talking to when I was on Charles Faulkner channel the other day. That's the reason why I'm partly one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. These Negroes constantly talked about I ain't never seen 30, 40-year-old men talk about their past dating in their teens and 20s. These Negroes was talking about shit that happened in high school, their early 20s. And I'm like, dude, you Charles, you gotta be in your late 40s. What the hell? And then had another guy like I know Rael. Rael gotta be in his 40s, huh?
That's my guy, but they do be
Rael
on some
gotta be in
women
his
shit.
early 40s. I'm like these, and then I'm like, dude, y'all talking about it ain't nothing but thoughts and this and that. I say, why y'all keep messing with the same kind of woman y'all complain about? Something I gotta start looking at you when you tell me every woman you dated was like this. You ain't have no variety, but the same type.
Well,
That's what they're looking for.
Well, here, this is the thing, and like I said,
that's what I
like
say
I
to the
said,
women.
I mean, like I said, like they're both sides. I'm gonna say this because, like I said, I some of these people I do sit with them and I talk with them, but there's no balance anymore. You know what I'm saying? I still go over to the Face channel. Hell, I even started going to Gynocracy. That I think me and D Darrell caught a lot of flack.
Congratulations, Terry.
Me and D Darrell caught a lot of flack as balanced men because what we call blue pilled and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you that, and this is no hype. This is no BS. D-Darrell, bar none, from the BMT debate team, made the most money on debates, bar none, because of literally actually trying to say, hey, let's have the honest conversation. You don't understand, people. I think a lot of people have a certain type of vitriol of narratives that they don't want to actually look at in themselves. So when I ask a man, why is it that you can't see your child? Well, because the woman keep me away. Whoa, no. Answer me this question. Why is it you can't see your child? Because if you properly go back to the court and actually petition properly, why I got to do all that? Well, hold on now. We just go back to the court and petition. You can get custody of your child where you can get 50-50. Well, before feminism, okay, brother, I'm talking. I'm talking. And when you know, and see, when and y'all think I'm bullshitting, but we done seen this. We done
Can I say
seen
something
this.
real quick? Besides the money aspect or the custody aspect, one thing that I think that's very lost in these conversations, that seems like an endless circle, regardless of which side you land on, we generally tend to talk about the financial side, and I'm a financial guy, but one of the things we don't talk about, especially in the Black community, is things like the family health history. It's very disturbing. For example, a person such as myself who just met my father at the age of 36, to go to the doctor and find out you've got, muscle deteriorating diseases or chronic diseases, and you've not known about this for the last 35 years, or, things like that, oh, my baby mama this and feminism that. Well, let your child know they have a chance of getting lupus at 10 years old, or it's stuff like that, whether you're the father or the mother, because I know guys who have custody, but their kids have also, you're an amalgamation of your parents, so you're going to have attitudes and tendencies and traits of that other person. So we got to learn to put that shit to the side and be like, hey, you aren't just like your mother. And the fact that, every time you laugh, your upper lip curls, little shit like that. Which is where I think a lot of these guys get mad at, at their red pill rage at their mama, because their mama treated them like, you curl your upper lip like your daddy.
It's one of those things. This is why I said, like, a lot of people have a deep fostering hate for their how they came, or certain situations or various situations that happen. And I'm like, it doesn't work, man. Like, the people, we can tell by looking at the young adolescents that have been in this space for a long time. Every last adolescent that been in this space is mentally fucked up. Every last one of them that has been here too long and listened to a lot of this stuff. How do you explain their mental development is at a retardation level? And that's not being rude. That's just being fair. We can talk. We can. Have y'all talked to some of these guys that have been here for a long time? Like, they've been in here for a long time, and look at their development with women, with society.
Right.
It's horrible.
It is. And they don't know how to connect with people. And that's part of the reasons. And I tried to explain to them. One of the reasons I told some of these guys, one of the reasons why you have issues with women is not because of how you look, and it's because of your ability to connect and feel for somebody, talking to them, understanding. It's not a one-way street, and they don't know how to connect with women. That's why women are not interested in you. You don't know how to connect. When you had fools walking up and telling me on a panel, well, D. Darrell, when I meet a chick, I ask her, the first thing I ask her, is your hair real? I'm like, what?
No, or a better one. D. Darrell, are you going to submit? That who goes to?
And it's like, if you worried about if I have you, don't talk to her if you can't tell. Problem solved.
Yeah, what's going on with y'all,
real
man? How
enough to
y'all
get me
feeling?
to try and take you on a date.
What's up, Red Pill Finance?
I'm good,
going
man.
on,
How
bro?
y'all doing today?
All
Good,
right.
man.
Alright.
What's up, brother?
All good.
Now I got a question, and I want to ask the men, anybody who's on the red pill side. That's no shot. What's this obsession with submission? What's this obsession with submission?
I can tell you the obsession.
Go ahead.
They never got it. that's the obsession. And what they fail to understand, women on average typically submit. And I ain't talking about slavery. It's a difference between slavery and submission. When women are in a secure situation with a man they know and trust, and he's doing the right, they naturally, on average, women naturally submit to the man. And so the thing about it, they've never been seen in that manner towards women. Therefore, they never were able to get that. That's the issue, and that's what they don't understand. Women are not going to submit to questionable men.
Mm.
They're going to, because women are designed to be at alert. They have intuition. They're looking at risk. See, men, we don't measure risk the same way women do. And so women are not going to just submit to bum ass Negroes. They not. I mean, God knocks you can second and let me know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying you're not going to.
It's true.
You're not going to if you're a person, and I'm gonna use like lying ass BGS was sit there lying talking about 80% of the men that follow him and in the manosphere make 80,000 to 100K a year.
Cap.
It's a goddamn lie. And so, but now my thing is that listen, I would say this. How you expect a woman to submit to you? You ain't even got your own place. You don't have your own place. She picking up, taking you to work. She probably got you the job. You know what I'm saying? She basically doing everything for you and or trying to encourage you to, because she may see something in value of yourself. How's she supposed to submit to that?
If I could speak real quick on the BGS thing, just from ironically enough, like I said, when I got on the panel with Taz, he asked me why I went to the manosphere. I told him realistically to sell life insurance. But what ended up happening was I actually have sat with quite a few men from the manosphere. And in terms of at least the numbers they're telling me and the ones who have actually done business, their salaries were commensurate with what BGS was stating. However, the sample size is nowhere near large enough to say 80% of his followers are there. I just happen to probably have the guys who had money saw value of sitting with a financial advisor. You know what I'm saying? So it made sense that the guys that made 100K or more sat with me.
Yeah, because the people who make 100K or more are financially probably savvy and financially literate to know that they need to get more life insurance or get a better policy. But the guys that make $20,000-$30,000 are not, and they're not worrying about that. That's the reason why they're only making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. That's the difference.
Right. So I'm by no way or means verifying, validating what he said, but I am verifying that there are men in that space who definitely do at least fit the description or the bill in terms of income.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that there is a small, maybe 10% that may make 80 plus a month, but the other 90% ain't. They not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Definitely.
I'll say like 20%. To be real.
Who said 20? A red pill?
I'll give it less than that. And I've been doing this. I've been here for years, doing business panels. Actually, shout out. We actually were doing the first professional business panel even before the LaPete show came up. We had all professionals. You think black men were beating on that panel trying to hear what professionals, lawyers, doctors, therapists, and all of them had to say?
No.
Mind you, we were giving shit out for free. You was there, Red. So
I was there. And so another thing that I'm gonna say why it's not. When O'Shea was doing the Hall of Game and when he was doing the business stuff on the Rumbles, O'Shea had a hard time finding people he knew were professionals.
Mm.
He did not have an easy time.
Wow.
He sure the hell did.
And
He
he'll
had
tell
a
you
hard time
what O'Shea
finding-
say, Diderot. He said that actually was his lowest viewed segment.
Sure was
the Hall of Gaming.
right.
Damn.
He even talked to me, emailed me about that. He said, "Listen, BMP, I get what you're doing, but these brothers ain't checking for that. They're not checking for actual professionals like that. That's why I find it funny when you have to, oh God, we finally got the lead attorney. Like, bitch, please, y'all had people way more higher than him. Y'all still didn't want this type of shit.
But see,
Y'all
the thing
had
about it, the lead attorney viewers are actually more women. I think that lead attorney probably has women from other spaces that like his content because it's talking about various things.
Gossip and all that.
Yeah, with stuff with the law in certain cases. But when you look at the lead attorneys, like the people who come on the panel, there are a lot of women that come on the lead attorney panel, and it's also a lot of Hispanic and people from other races that are women watch his channel too, because he let anybody up there.
Now here's the thing about it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you know what's gonna kill his channel? The minute he brings on red pill content onto his shit, his channel's gonna start getting destroyed. And it's gonna literally
isn't it already like that. Don't he already talk about?
Now,
I think he's a bit too clever for that.
Yeah,
I think I watched his shorts a couple of times, but I don't really know much about him. I never really.
Oh, check him out.
Watched.
Yeah, he
watched a couple
doesn't talk
of it.
about red pill content. He may talk about guys. He gives a shout out to the people in the manosphere, certain content creators, particularly when Kevin Samuel, because he actually met him and all that different stuff. But he don't talk about red pill principles and talking points.
He won't do that.
And he not because another thing that he don't talk about a lot. The lead attorney making a bag off of those courses he teaching.
What courses he got?
He got courses of how to grow your channel.
How to grow your YouTube channel.
I mean, he got all types of courses that cost money.
I feel like those courses, they be a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, them courses.
I'm talking about for a lot of content creators starting to do that, and they
good luck.
Bump the price up.
Those courses are scams, man. Like Kevin Samuel had a course for $7.99, $800 a month.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like these people pay consultations to people that, I mean, they probably have a little knowledge, but to be real too, man, they don't really have that much experience into what they're talking about.
Charging that kind of, I don't even charge
shit. You feel me?
I'm a professional. When somebody consult with me on therapy and facility, like I get a lot of people who are trying to enter into private practice, like guys and ladies as far as professionals who, when they're first entering into the field, they consult with me, and also certain people from like certain government agencies consult with me. I charge between $200 and $300 depending on what it is. So how the hell I'm charging $300 and these niggas trying to charge $800 an hour?
It's the best hustle. The best suckers to find are here in this space. And I shit you not, from the men and women side, niggas are dumb. And I just already done committed to that. Like, they're just dumb. You can sell water and say this shit can heal you and rejuvenate your vag and help your penis game or some shit. These
people will buy that.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels used to do. You know, Kevin Samuels used to do penis growth content.
What?
Nope. You gotta grow your penis.
We went over all. No, see,
it's not mine. The penis pump is not mine. It is.
But see, the thing now, here's the honest truth thing, that for the BBN network, we've been knew about Kevin Samuels being on there selling Avon.
Oh, all of it. We knew about
all of that years ago before this man even got to where he was. Hey, y'all.
We knew that back in 18 and 19.
So we were. The thing about it was just entertaining. Oh my God, he's a multi. I'm like, what? Listen, bro. Okay. I'm like, y'all got to look at where people are working and living. I guess making 30,000 a year in that, and where he was in Oklahoma, wherever the hell he was at, that was good. I guess that was good, but that was a very, that's like some places are low impoverished, so that would be good. And I mean, no offense, but looking at just that ain't speaking ill of the dead, but you could tell by the funeral that, hey man, that the same people that he hated on were actually the ones that actually came to see him and send him off. And this is something that we're starting to understand about a lot of the people in these spaces. Like when we see these meetups, these talking points, people say it was hating, but we saw these six-figure people meet up for their thing in Atlanta. And when they met there, that was not no goddamn high value conference meeting. If that was shit, that's a high value
conference. That nigga wasn't even dressed professional. Little Big Nate had on a goddamn I don't know what the hell that was. Nigga had on a goddamn jacket and a big ass wrinkled t-shirt with I don't know what kind of belt I don't know what the hell he was wearing. This nigga dressed like he just left a Goodwill, like home. That's how he looked.
Yeah.
And who was doing them Amazon courses? I forgot what it was. AWS it was? That what you call it?
Some of the AWS, the AWS courses.
Yeah, I heard they were doing that in the meetup in Atlanta.
No, see, this is the thing about it. This is why I said you can sell the Negro any goddamn thing, and they will buy this shit and believe it. Like the so bad about it is, I'm not going to, like I said, we already have a theory of where a lot of this money done went to, but that's none of our personal business. I mean, what happens in Atlanta stays in Atlanta. I'll just keep it like that. But I mean, for the most part, hush, gynocracy.
So, that's the shade.
No, it's not. That's their money. They're men. They can do whatever the hell they want to do. But the thing about it is, y'all gonna have a hard time. But every time these same men keep getting called out for all their little adventures that they get into, and see, that's the thing about it. Like the public speaking was horrible. They couldn't afford a projector, and X, Y, and Z shit. It be old ass dudes always trying to sell the dream. We're going into tech, and I'm like, Negro, y'all work at goddamn gas stations and Subways and Dunkin' Donuts and still live with your parents. Like, stop. Like, y'all ain't doing no crazy ass ventures and shit. Like, we know that. Like, we know that.
Like,
and that's no shot, but a lot of these dudes trying to sell the dream to tell women to take these type of value. Like I said, this is not a dig. These are actual facts of things that keep coming out. Why is it so bad that even O'Shea had to say, I don't even want to be manosphere no more?
Well, no, my thing is, you have a lot of people that went feel some type of way about O'Shea because he went on the entertainment side. How y'all feel about that? Him changing his lanes and him not wanting to be in the manosphere, because I personally feel like it was the actual good thing, because I would have never known any of you here, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember when D Darrell went on O'Shea channel. I remember when BMT went on O'Shea channel. So what he had going on was definitely a good thing. I would have wished that he would have continued with it, but I definitely understand why he went on the entertainment side. You feel me?
Wait, before we go there, please, may I interject? Because I wanted to comment on the submission.
Right.
First of all, greetings, everyone. So, on the submission thing, a lot of guys, I don't think, understand that while they're having this conversation, even about quote unquote high value, it's going to take more than money for women to just submit, especially a black woman to just quote unquote submit to you. It's also about the energy that you bring and the attitude that you have. Women, by nature, will be cooperative and desire to be cooperative and submissive when they feel appreciated, when they feel safe,
right?
When they feel secure. Right. And you don't even have to be in a relationship, right? It's just the male presence. Feminine energy will automatically surrender to masculine energy when it is safe.
Right. I agree.
Thank you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I thought you wanted to say something else.
Oh no, that's all.
Yeah, so my thing, and you're right. I mean, but the thing about it is, it's hard. It's hard. What you just stated, you just gave an education as far as what women look for and what needs to be done. But it's hard for people who never had submission to understand what they have to do to get it. That's why when you say stuff like that, they tune you out and they don't listen to you because they've never had that experience, and nor do they understand what they have, because they what they think is a woman is supposed to give you what you just talked about without them doing anything, just on the basis of you being a male. And that's what they don't understand. That women are not going to give you submission based on you being a man. It's who you are as a man.
Right, right. And also, we don't owe the world our smile. We don't owe the world at random our kindness, our softness, our gentleness. That goes against our own nature of protecting ourselves and our own kind.
Right? You're right. You don't owe nobody anything. That is true.
Yeah, I think it have a lot to do with the younger generation, man, because you have a lot of them that come to these spaces that finds in like dating coaches, like the people like EMS, but I've been in this space for a while, so I know about all the smaller channels, man. It's really a problem with being a masculine man, because that's something that has to actually be taught, different from a woman that could like just naturally blossom into that. You feel me? So a lot of these people don't necessarily have like fathers to tell them how to conduct themselves and how to get women and all that, man. So that's why you have men like that conduct themselves in that manner.
Let me ask you this, Red Pill. You're a younger guy. What drew you to the space in the first place?
What, the manosphere?
Yeah, just black YouTube. Period. Like, were you looking for something? Because one of the things that was said when I remember when O'Shea was doing lives and AMS was this. I remember AMS before he don't. I want you all to know when AMS first came to YouTube, he was basically on a panel, and he became popular by actually talking about other dating coaches, particularly Steve the Dean. He had an interaction over a phone call with Steve the Dean where they were arguing with each other, and that propelled him to do a channel that made him hot. I don't think most people don't know that. But AMS started off doing, like, remember when O'Shea was doing the Hall of Game and people were calling in? That's how he became popular.
Oh, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how AMS argued with Steve the Dean. He did that multiple times and told Steve the Dean, and this is what he did. He told Steve the Dean is lying and he too old and he out the dating game. And then he told Steve the Dean that, I guess for a lot of younger guys that they whatever, he was like, it's okay to lie. Why not lie to women? You can lie to women to get what you. He was doing something that kind of made people look at like what he said. But that's how he became popular.
I'm gonna ask this question. This is the thing. I'm gonna challenge on a lot of these dudes that are very funny. Like, how the hell y'all listen to the dudes that talk about single mothers when a lot of these dudes live with single mothers? How are y'all listening to a lot of these dudes that talk about game when a lot of them don't even got their own shit together? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Steve the Dean lives with a white woman with biracial children that ain't holistically his, that she's taking care of him.
And she making all the money.
That she's making all the money. Now, I don't know what kind of level game is that shit. I don't know what level game that is. And that's no shot. Now, just being honest. But a lot of these dudes who are teaching y'all a game, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to really pull up these goddamn Hotep, YouTubian goddamn resumes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Lucario goddamn girl goddamn goes to another man to go get her back blown out and shit. Now, I mean,
that factual information.
Literally, he done told y'all that his girl got a. He's fine with a girl dating out. Like,
Oh
come
no.
on, like stop. We can stop these doggone thing. I know it's hard to believe that, but a lot of these goddamn YouTubians, when you start looking at some of their lifestyle, some of them don't even take care of their own damn kids. Like, we can stop playing, and that's why I'd be like, how the fuck are these people talking about holistic lifestyle or talking about other people? They don't got their shit together. You know, I mean, hey, I'm not, listen, I got no heaven or hell to put you in, but goddamn, dude, like, some of y'all talk about single mothers, but a lot of these Negroes made single mothers. So what is it like? And seeing that, and that's the thing about it. See, I can say that, and this is not me saying, "Well, I'm part of the woman." No, I'm looking at it as a man. Like, wait a second, how are you talking about women, but yet you made single women? At what point did you ever think that what you did was justifiable? Like, you've been sleeping, and some of y'all know who y'all are. You impregnated the same woman for 2 to 3 years, and then that one time say, maybe I might want to take you down the altar. Maybe I might want to actually, make an honest woman out of you. No, she just, I mean, there's gonna be excuses. So you gotta understand, Tommy Sotomayor, as much as he been talking about black women, how he has a whole nother baby. This man is making multiple children and tricking. But he getting on dysfunctional black people, but he's just as dysfunctional. That's why I said, like, the hypocrisy is very interesting when you start pulling out and start looking at these YouTube preachers and YouTubians, man. They don't add up to what they're saying. And see, that to me is the biggest problem that we've been seeing. David Carroll is fucked up. Y'all, people don't, and a lot of men don't want to admit that. David Carroll is fucked up.
Yeah, Derek Carroll was living in a dilapidated house and shit, living with family. He was broke.
He was broke. David Carroll was broke. I know a lot of dudes don't want to admit that. David Carroll was broke. He was mentally broken. His own daughter, as much as he like talking about damn black people, was a divester, and that's fine. But his daughter, he had a problem with. Like I said, he had a problem with his own child. So go ahead.
No, go ahead. So what I wanted to say, so Red, kind of talk to me about what were some of the things you were looking for.
I think it was like after the conscious community, I came from that space. I was like into Sinetta, people in that realm, man, and I was looking for a little more substance. You know what I'm saying? So, I was always different from a lot of people. I think I grew up a lot faster, so I was looking more into like developing myself as a man at like an earlier age. That was around like the age of like 18 or 19. So that was around late 2018. So that's when I came into the space. Also, it was also if I was in like business trying to get skills and all that, you know what I'm saying? Talk to people about certain subject because when you at the age of like 18, 19, it's hard to relate to other people that don't really think the same as you. And I got a lot of that conversation from the internet. So that's why I came to this space. It was also for like relationship reasons, you know what I'm saying? Because as far as in like relationships, I have dealt with women, you know what I'm saying, as far as like dating and all that. And I come from a family, we Caribbean, so I'm Jamaican and all that, and we don't have this dysfunction, you feel me? Like so it was really hard to understand growing up and coming into the dating realm, just understanding how everything moved, you feel me? Like I didn't really have an understanding, but I still have my father, right? But me and him wasn't really cool at the time. So around, I'll say
It
even
is
around like,
dysfunction, though.
yeah, yeah, definitely dysfunction, right? So that was around like freshman year. I didn't really me and my father wasn't really that cool, but we still live in the same household, right? So those times I was just really on my own learning as I go, you feel me? So
right,
coming into this space, I definitely knew I wanted a family. I definitely knew that I wanted to have like kids and all that, but I didn't know how to go about it. And when you're young, you're more susceptible to people messages. You soak things in. You feel me? So that's what's going on with most of these kids out here. They soaking the information, But I definitely feel like as they grow up and they understand themselves, they move away from that. But that's why I came into the space to have like different conversations with people about business and all that. But also trying to figure out how a way to actually bridge the gap between the sexes and all that.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you had quite a few things coming from. A lot of people came from the conscious community. I mean,
Yeah.
I know when I first got on YouTube, that was the first community I looked at, was the conscious community, and stuff like that. Before I started diving into the manosphere and other black, the other sectors, when I didn't even know about these sectors.
Yeah, I would watch Umar Johnson. I watch Dr. Umar Johnson lectures a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
I saw
huh?
No, I saw a few Umar Johnson's. It's between Umar and Tommy, and then after that, that's when I saw O'Shea, and that's back then when he used to be on the phone, on a goddamn phone,
Right.
and so that's how far back that it went from me. So I didn't just came into no just red pill shit, and I came from conservative talk radio. I used to do conservative talk radio, so I was always talking about and on family shit. It's just that I was like, this is funny. Like, to me, I saw the shit that they were talking about funny. And then I'm like, okay, so you're gonna always want to go sit at the cafeteria table with your own. You're gonna always want to go over there and say, let me go sit with my own people and see what the hell they talking about. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Brother Hill podcast, this and that. And me and my friends, we originally started to do it too. I didn't. That's why I said I had no problem working with black men and black women. Why are you over there with the women? Well, shit. After my check, I like some brown skin. I ain't gay, so what the hell we wrong? What are you talking about? Why? Well, you can't trust them, nigga. I don't got that problem like you, nigga. You sure? I mean, you don't look like like something that they'll choose. Like, nigga, well, I ain't checking for you, nigga. Like, it'd be like the craziest shit. Like, I only met dudes here that be calling themselves alphas and omegas and sigma shit. I'm like, yo, bro, where the fuck am I? Like, this Narnia? I've never heard this shit before outside of real life. I don't know people go around calling people alpha, sigmas, and betas and shit. Like, that will get you boxed off in real life. Like, what the hell you just call me? Like, what the fuck that mean? Like, y'all call each other alphas and omegas and calling each other masters and daddies and shit. And like,
all different kind of pills and all that
pills and shit. I'm like, what the fuck wrong with y'all? Like, I let my daddy listen to this shit. One time, my dad thought these dudes were crazy as fuck. He thought they were crazy as fuck. He was like, what's wrong with these men? I ain't know. They broken. They out here playing Power Rangers and shit. It is what it is, man. I get it. You didn't get the girl that you wanted. You couldn't talk to her. Listen, man. And that's the thing. That's the thing bad about I do here. And this is something I got to call it out to Obsidian. And I said, Obsidian, there's no way you could believe. Yes, it's a black woman's fault. And I did that show last night. Can y'all tell me, how did the black woman destroy that of the community by herself? Because if you gotta show me the black woman that runs a gang, like, show me what gang that she run.
Not giving them enough Gucci.
Show me what drug operation. Show me what drug operation does that woman have under her belt. And then we ain't talking about no goddamn.
Now, Obsidian, his shit is sad. All it is him whining about being ugly, also saying it's women's fault for not choosing him because he's ugly, but then saying he ain't. It's confusion. So
Obsidian come off kind of like feminine to me, so I never watched his content.
It's fun. You know what else we was arguing about? The thing about, the big thing in the space now is about the lady was on Kendra G channel, and she had a guy and a woman. They were meeting each other, see if they would like each other. The guy, she asked the guy, tell me about yourself, like things you like to do. She wanted to know more about his values, things he liked, his pet peeves. Now, the guy is a physicist. He's an astrophysicist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, you don't meet a lot of. To me, we don't even know if this man was telling the truth or not. But
yeah, you really don't know.
He claimed and said he's an astrophysicist. He got this big time job. He's getting ready to start in like a month. The guy started talking more about the job and that stuff instead of talking about himself. The lady straight up said, I didn't really like because she felt like she didn't really know anything about him. He only talked about him as far as the job itself and so on. She said that's fine, but what about you as a person? And so she said I wasn't feeling them. These Negroes said, see, this is the problem with black women. When a professional black guy come around, you pass him up. But if it was a Pook and Ray Ray came up there telling her what you wanted to know, then she would have been all in, giggling and ready to give him the box the next day. And all this, I'm like, damn. I say, so this woman can't have an opinion. Everybody is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, she decided based on what he said, she wasn't interested. Don't mean that every guy that's educated or professional, she gonna turn down. She just wasn't interested in him. Like, I don't get how you can't process that.
Well, I've been to a restaurant, and I rather have a white woman serve me than a black woman because I get better service and I'm at peace, and they just send me my sandwich. A black woman, they can never give me. They'd always look at me in the wrong way. Like, I'm very uncomfortable. I'd rather get served by Becky than by what's a black woman's name? I forgot.
Just say, just add anything with Isha or Tisha or
Tisha,
whatever. They'll go with that. Trust me.
Yeah. It's the same old. It's like they prefer the cooking and the cleaning and the shutting up, and I was like, nigga, are you on Mars? Like women have been independent pretty much since what, the 70s, 80s, 90s.
90. I can't honestly say that. You see, that's the thing. And here's the thing about it. Like, my mom and my grandma were part of the women's suffrage. Like, and I always ask people, like, so when have women been independently doing their own thing? And you would have to tell me, because
BMT. You want to hear something funny? This is what I got 2 days ago. You want to hear something incredibly funny? They said that the only way that we're going to get reparations, and hear this good, that we divest to marry outside of our race, right? And once we are married for a certain period of time, we get $60 million each.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't.
Wait, how is that? How can you leverage that to get $60 million?
I don't know. Guess making biracial babies or some shit. Like, I don't. I see. This is why it's
we can't get it from black women.
Y'all see y'all doing too much. I can't think.
I'm serious though. They just be saying something. And the thing about it is, they attempt to gaslight when you challenge them on this stuff. Like, the other day, 2 days ago, and I'm gonna do a video on this. BGS got pissed off at me for challenging his talking points. We were up till 2:00 in the morning arguing. And we were on a Mary Brown's channel, right? BGS gets up there. He started talking all this stuff about the black woman kicked the black man out the household and all this stuff. And then we started talking about all kind of stuff.
About those talks too, huh?
Yeah, and so he see, the thing about it, I told him, I said, listen, guys, and I told him, I said, a lot of information you look up is confirmation bias. And you don't know how to interpret the data. And I said the reason why you get away with a lot of stuff because the people that listen to you, they don't read, and they don't research what you research. So he tried to combat me by putting out an article, right, about the income gap and things like that, and what black men need to do. Now he gonna sit here and say black women need to submit and be cooperative to black women, but when the black man needs to do something to better himself, he got to go through the black woman to get it, and she need to help him do it. Now I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, that don't even make sense. So you asking somebody to submit to you that you can't even do something independently on your own. Why would she value something you can't do something on your own? Why do you need her to do something to do for yourself? That don't even make sense. So we continued on. He gave this bullshit research report from some company, right? He put it in a link and he said this proves that something about this Negro said, I think he said 80% of black people make minimum wage or something like that. I said, what?
What?
80%. I said, wait, no, this Negro said some shit about, yes, I have it. Most black people, this is what he said. He said most black people make like somewhere around $20,000. And then he also said that an average family can live off of $45,000 with no government benefits.
You know what logic would say to that?
$45,000. I was like, nigga, what's wrong with you? So let me tell you what I did. I dropped off, right? I said, I'm gonna go read this article. I'm coming back on. I come back. It didn't take me but 5 minutes to read what I need to read to see. The article did not talk about the total U.S. population and black people. The article was a sample size of 350 cities in the United States. So I'm like, dude, you basically gave false information that was misinterpreted and was not what, and it did not cover the total country, the total population. It was selected cities. That's a totally different type of reason. That's not a random sample. That's a stratified fixed sample that you're doing, because you're picking out the cities that you want to assess. This Negro got mad and started cursing me out. I became motherfuckers. This and that.
That's because you know what they do? They just highlight what they read. They don't even read the whole thing in totality. They just highlight what they want to hear or highlight what they want to read, and then say that it's factual.
And it's not. But and I told before, I said, listen, man, you used to talking to people that don't read and they don't follow up on what they don't follow up and verify what you say. They just take what you say as the Bible. I said, man, I will not, and I told, I said, you all should not trust anything this brother say. I don't hear this shit about him being this intellectual philosopher, YouTube philosopher, and all this stuff. And then I sat here and said, and you talking about black women, but you had failed relationships with black women. You've been divorced multiple times. You alone. You in your 60s or 70s. You shouldn't even be talking to people 30, 40 years younger than you. You should be doing other shit. Like, seriously.
It's one of the things about it is, this is why I just like I said, man, family is just not wanted here. I think one of the big catalysts was when we did a family panel, and after that we had the pump and dump crew. They pulled up to have a debate with the family men. It was the most wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was the wildest shit I've ever seen. Like, it was a 4-on-4 debate, pump and dump versus the family men. You had to just be there in the logic that they were just, and I mean, they were pulling up Google documentary shit.
No, I heard a dude say there is a Boyce Watkins pill because he married a single mother. So he said the single mother is going to be dependent on you because she never had a high value man. So that's the only way you can get a woman to be on your side in a relationship and have her be submissive to you is the Boyce Watkins pill.
Hey, D, I have a question for you. What the hell is a benevolent dictator?
A benevolent dictator? That's one that basically can rule without question.
So that's what Auntie Daniels is. Oh, okay.
Listen, I look at people when they just listen, man. Like, you gotta understand, you gotta take it for a grain of salt. Like, the stuff that people say on here, it's sensory TV. That's why people stop watching TV.
I don't.
And they're more into watching.
Brother, I hear you. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I got kicked off of a panel for trying to tell the truth.
So, but it's listen. It's you don't listen. I've learned. Like I said, I've learned on common sense is not common and it's not needed or warranted here. So you can't you got to understand things. People are just pushing out their narratives of what they want to be believed, not actually what they need to hear. That's why when Dita Rose said, "Hey, I'm not telling you things you want to hear. I'm just telling you the facts." Like it's not something that the truth is never easy. Whenever you go get reflective help of like, "Hey, what's wrong with me?" I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm just telling you it is for what it is. And so when you're telling people that, they want you to try to, make it sound more pretty and more easy to digest. And that's just not holistically true. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and that's something that you're seeing that on the female side. They're dealing with that as well as the men. Shit, we still haven't. I've never understood these talking points about well, if you have this game or that or this and that, but then when you start reflecting the mirror back to them, there's a problem. There's a big problem. So how do you know all this shit? But where's your children at? Well, don't ask me that question. Well, okay. So where's your woman at? These women don't submit. So you're teaching young people
What
the game.
what am I submitting to? That's the question
Well,
that read me. What am I submitting to? Is she submitting to your every need, which is what you asked for anyway, because you think you're slick, which you're not. Be, you think you're almighty, and you think you make 6 or 7 figures, which you don't. You call yourself a millionaire, which you're not. So what is it that you want women to submit to? And by the way, most of y'all don't. Most of these Negroes don't even wear condoms, and they go over and they want to go
oh,
overseas. And they want to
Let's
have
not get on that issue.
with these
Oh,
women.
oh, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is more so of a boys' club. It's a boys' club. It's make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? We've already been through when they wanted robot prostitution or of robot sex dolls. Like literally, they said they choose sex dolls over being with a woman. Uh, all this shit, people will. If y'all just come here, y'all will think that BMT is making this shit up. But I can tell you right now, we was on a panel. There were dudes bragging off on how they on. Remember that time when the dude was up there with his sex doll and stuff, and all the men
oh
were
yeah,
trying to buy
Yami.
sex
Yeah,
dolls.
yeah. Yami, Yoni, or whatever the hell his name
Yeah,
was.
yeah. He had a sex doll that looked like a Asian little girl, and
Sure did.
all the black dudes in the chat were happy. They thought that was the greatest thing that ever since we would choose Asian little sex dolls over being with black women.
Is
And
And
that
that's
and
so
this
that's
is
the,
true?
what you want to teach our kids.
well, see, you got listen. Like you got to leave that. See, you got to understand. Like that talk point of wanting to teach or actually be that of a proper guidance. That shit's been dead. Like they already done said, fuck these kids. That's why I always be. I don't know why y'all be bring. That, there's no point to bringing up children in these conversations. They done said, fuck these kids. Hell, I wouldn't even want to bring up kids in at all because honestly, you have what some people actually entertain that of well the age of consent, and I'm like, yo, bro, you're going down a dark
Oh
path.
man,
They
that. Oh
you
my God, that was.
so you might want to stay away from consensual talk of minors because I'm telling you right now, there's a whole big plethora of men that have traveled out to go deal with women or young girls of consent. So
I know, and
stay away. I'll
I
stay
deal with
away from
them
that if
on
I
a
was you.
regular basis. So I know what you're talking about, and I used to deal with them on a regular basis, and I used to cuss them out. I used to cuss them out on a regular basis too. And there's one particular one that I'm still on that ass, and he knows who he is, Mr. Logic. And when I get into Mr. Logic, I'm going to basically beat him psychologically, mentally, and if I have to, I'm gonna beat him physically because he knows better. He particularly knows better.
Well, see, this is why some of the guys were supporting some of the rhetoric from certain content creators about dating people, young girls who didn't know better, because that's where they had that. Well, young women submit to an older man, and I'm like, damn boy, this on some sugar daddyism slash some kind of grooming shit. Like that, it's getting pretty dark. Or these women, they're choosing these ain't shit Negroes. But I'm like, a lot of y'all do know they're talking about y'all, right? In the chat, they're talking about y'all, but you're too dumb to catch it. Like, it'd be older dudes who got multiple baby mamas or failed relationships, but then they're preaching the gospel.
It's the woman's fault.
Well, now we'll keep it fair. I'll keep it fair, but I'm not obtuse to say that women are holy and that they don't have their problems, that they don't have the flaws. That ain't fuck shit. I'm not going to lie and not say it ain't that the women don't have their fuck shit. Okay, and see, when you have that, you gotta understand it's keeping it. Listen, we done seen some crazy women and broads that have got up and say some crazy out of pocket shit. But I'm not going to turn a blind eye and say, well, you cool with that or you're okay with that, queen. Nah, fuck that. I'm calling you out, girl. Like, you on some crazy shit.
But these particular men in these particular spaces that you're talking about, I've been in them and they say all women are like that. All women. I said, wait a minute, put a percentage on it. And it's like 80 to 90%. I'm like, so 80 to 90% of women, it's their fault that you stick your rod in a woman, she gets pregnant, and then you want to blame a woman how she gets pregnant. How can she consent a child? So she goes to the clinic, she finds out she's pregnant. It's her fault that she's pregnant.
Right, according to them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just so true, man. Like, these niggas don't even talk about marriage. They don't talk about having a family.
No. They do talk about marriage. They do talk about marriage. They talk about staying in a sustained relationship, a long, lifelong marriage.
But that what they consider to be marriage, I guess.
No. What is it called? It's called it's what I said earlier. It's basically being submissive type, but it's overall you do me a favor. I pay all the bills. I pay 100% of the bills, and basically I can do whatever I want. That means I can bring another woman into our relationship and you can't say anything. Really? Also, what happens if a woman gets bored? Well, again, she can cook, she can clean, she can serve me, she can do this, she can do that. What if she needs a job? What if she wants to be independent? No, she can't be independent because you don't want her to have a say, huh? You don't want her to have a voice. Boy, I'm glad there are all bees in the world.
Hold on, but wouldn't you consider that to be a foundational woman, like a woman that's like a housekeeper who actually like take care of the family? And that's not something you would want to like your wife to strive for, or no?
Well, my thing is this, man. When you look at that, most families can't afford that. That's number one. Most families cannot afford to live on one income and have a wife staying at home, being a housewife. They just can't. And that to me is the thing that we got to look at for number one. Number two, if you can afford it, and you and your wife chooses to do that, well then of course the roles for her is to manage the home, which she's going to do anyway, whether she's working or not. I mean, most women that work come home and take care of the home too. But the problem is that in a marriage, as a man, you're also supposed to have your input and be available and help out with doing things too.
I think that's the thing about it, bro. Like,
I mean, I do, and I don't even have to, and I choose to do it because I've been accustomed to doing it. Like, particularly when my children were younger, I participated a lot. Picking them up from school, making sure they did their homework. I did, like, as far as my kids doing their homework, picking them up from school at school activities. I did most of that early in my marriage because my wife was actually not available because she worked the evenings.
I,
So I did a lot of that.
I think that was something that was asked even of me. BNT, why we always see you in the kitchen cooking? Which, that's a woman's job. And at first I was taken back, but then I started understanding a lot of these people are not from functionality. They don't think about reality. To hear a man say, I don't mind folding clothes or putting dishes in the dishwasher or sweeping or mopping, you doing the job of a bitch. No, it's called household responsibilities. And so when you have these things, there's no just one set lane or gender of jobs in the household. Like I guess I can't breastfeed, but I have had it where the woman has set up I put out some milk in the bottles in the refrigerator. I gotta go to work. You could just heat them up, put them in, boil the water, heat them up, and like I said, you should be good. I gotta go back to work. Okay, I'm good. But see, that's not a norm. D Rail going to the school. I gotta be real with you, black men. You're not a presence really in that damn school. You're not. You're not a presence in that school when it comes to black fathers going there and participating in educational, not sports, educational shit with your kids, like PTA or like sitting there at the classroom and just supporting your kid. You're just not. Maybe for sports, but not for actually being there as a presence. So of course, when it comes to women, when we hear people say the children are more attached to the mother, well, who is it that they always see? Because whoever the child sees predominantly in their life that is actually more hands-on, that is dependable, they're going to look towards that person. Well, shit, ain't no need. My kids don't tell me anything, or the woman don't tell me anything about what's going on in my child's school. God damn it, they got a school calendar, damn it. You can literally look it up. Or you could call the guidance counselor, or you can make an attempt to go there by the school. There's no way you can tell me you can sit on the panel. And I argued about this on the Roger Report. And even on Sister George panel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sister George and them. But I argued about that. I said, yo, black men, how much do you want to fight for your kids? Y'all can't tell me about talking about family, but the only thing y'all know about is fucking and submission. But you don't know anything else. And that's just being realistic. That's why I said some conversations, I don't think y'all are some men, and this is no shot to Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels was a shitty dad. He wasn't in his kid's life. His kid even said she lived with her goddamn grandmama.
Whoa! Why are you talking about their godfather?
I don't give a shit.
Talking about their god?
I've been saying this even when he
How
was alive.
factual is that, BMT?
The thing. Let me tell you this right now, Red Pill.
Yeah.
We'll set the record straight.
Please do.
We've been on the panel with Kevin. We've known about a lot of stuff about Kevin that y'all still don't know about before he was even where he is today.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to tell him.
This is why we laugh about when he starts talking, when y'all start hearing about business or different other stuff. No. We've been on panels with the same guys who are licking his butthole were calling him all kind of names and shit while he was on panels. We were there. D Row didn't make fun of him. BMT didn't make fun of him. The same dudes who, oh my God. Kevin was a great man. Well, the same dudes calling him all kind of names, picking at him, talking shit about him.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden y'all say, well, why y'all say that about? Were you mad because we knew all this stuff about Kevin a long time ago?
Hold on.
These
Were
women
some
don't
of those
have
people,
respect
Huh?
for Kevin Samuels. How dare they talk about Kevin Samuels this way?
so were some of those people the people that did that little memorial for him, the little live stream and shit?
No, those were the Johnny come latelys. Dennis Sperling just came on the scene like 2 years ago.
And you already see how fucked up his goddamn is. His own baby mama got on YouTube and started clowning on his ass. That he
For
tried
real?
to pay. Yeah. Some of these dudes listen, man. Their background story origin of knocking up strippers and shit or messing with people that they shouldn't mess with. These are the dudes who got game run on them by the women and said, like, I'm not fucking with you. And it is what it is. I get it. You fell in love with goddamn street coochie. They ran your pockets, and they run your pockets still today. And you feeling hurt, and you're saying, God damn it, these women ain't shit. No, you keep choosing ain't shit choices. It is what it is. Now, some brothers, okay, I get it. I can empathize with you, but some of y'all, and you know who you are, even on Red's panel, you knocked up strippers. Stop making it seem like black women, that was black women fault. You chose to knock up a stripper without a condom on. I don't know how stupid you can be for that. Some of y'all knowingly, y'all got that. A lot of these dudes got some background criminal records, but they don't want to talk about that. And so when you have the functional people trying to talk to them, that's a problem.
Wait a minute. A stripper is usually, they'll charge you $700 just to screw them.
$700.
A sweet water of authority going on dates and getting paid shit. So you don't have to pay nothing.
Damn, that kind of
go on a date and get paid these days.
Listen, I like I said, I have no smoke for Jessica X, but I found it interesting. As much as these dudes said that black women are the problem, y'all listen to a female avatar that was 22, 23 years old telling y'all how to be men. And that shit
out the plat.
And that shit was hilarious as fuck. Y'all had a young woman that y'all telling how y'all want to groom women, grooming y'all on how to be a man. That shit was hilarious. And y'all paid her for it.
Look.
They paid her.
I came on a video a long time ago saying, y'all niggas bore me. They're really boring. Their dialogue is boring. They have no intellect. They have nothing of substance. They don't. If they were talking about education, if they were talking about finances, then I'll probably listen for a few minutes and then I'll shut the shit off. But they're just completely boring me. They're just the same talking points. Women need to be submissive. Women need to cook clean and shut up. Ain't that right, character? Excuse me, I'm sorry if I got any names out here. But and then of course they live in mansions. They drive not Corsicas, but they drive these expensive cars. They don't live in the hood no more. They're not ghetto. They need to get out the ghetto and shit. Like y'all niggas really fucking bore me. Y'all really
Hold on, but how
bore me.
much Jessica X was charging though?
Man, Jessica X was getting all kind of cash apps and super checks.
Yeah, she still does.
They really pay her ass well. They be sending like,
God, obviously, I'm trying to set up a deal for you. I'm trying to get you to go do the avatar hustle and go, maybe, say black men, y'all are, you got to learn how to be more nice, girls, so you can get that money. You got to go rebrand yourself. Get on the hype train. You got to get you an avatar with some big breasts out there or something. You got to go get that bread, man.
People really checking
exactly.
Listen, they fell in love with an avatar with titties. I'm sorry. That just showed you how bad it was out here. I just showed you how bad it was. All you gotta do is show a man some titties and some cleavage.
I still don't think that avatar is cute though. The avatar she even chose for them to even be doing that. I just think it's because she likes
Yeah,
it.
but see that
Ain't it cute to
avatar.
me? Her face look like it's casket ready to me. I'm like, she's not cute. Ew. No.
You know what I'm gonna poke at, and I'm gonna throw this at D the realm. Don't be bad. You remember when they swore up and down that you knew who Jessica X was? That you the one that set her up into space?
Oh yeah, man, I remember that shit. People were speaking that time. I'm the one that behind this. I'm like, really? I remember that. That was at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in 2020. People was calling out all kind of theories and shit.
Why is she so protected in that space though?
Because she follow everything they say. No, she follow she don't variate from none of the talking points.
She is the
No
king.
matter how stupid they sound, she will regurgitate whatever they say. She's going to repeat it.
To be fair, she is actually the king of the manosphere. That is actually that's not even joking around. It was actually between her and Kevin, but most likely I would have to. Now that Kevin is gone, King Dust.
Well, she roaming around. I think she lost a lot of steam because she roaming around on other panels right now, and she don't really do a lot of content. I mean, it's almost like she looked like she looking for content right now. Because Kevin, remember, her channel blew up when Kevin blew up. Especially after she did that interview. When she did that interview with him, her channel blew up like real. Like she started getting people from the divestment community, the pink pill, all them other little female orientated sectors. She started getting a lot. I'm talking a whole lot of support of viewers from those sectors.
I mean, you're right though, dude.
Like interview that porn star then. She want to keep get them ratings back up.
They ain't gonna have no content with this man gone, bro.
I guess that's their God right there.
Well, hold on. So my question would be like, what do you have to like for like the younger men and the younger females who come to this space, feeling like they don't really know how to go about certain things and certain topics? What would you tell them to get certain resources from and how to go about just developing themselves? How y'all feel about that?
So you said young women or young men?
Yeah, men, women, both.
Oh, for me, I would say for as far as them developing themselves, I would say they have an opportunity. In this day and age, man, there are opportunities that you don't necessarily have to go to college. Now, I would encourage kids to go to college. However, I understand college is not for everybody, and also the fact that college is so goddamn expensive. I had to be more flexible in looking at the fact that what I would encourage kids to do is to seek whatever education that you need to get into fields that are going to make money in the future. And part of that is whatever field you want to get into. Let's say you want to get into the medical stuff. Try finding a job working at a lower level in that field while you're studying to become whatever professional you want to be in that field. So if you want to be in the financial industry, get a job at the lower level, whatever level you can in that industry while you're seeking. So then you can already build some experience. You'll have experience working in that field, and then you're going to be connecting with those who are already in the position that you're trying to get into. That's what I would encourage younger people to do. As far as find out what you want to do, if it requires whatever education certification, upon you seeking and obtaining that, you work in that industry and get your feet in it at a lower level and work your way up. So by the time you obtain it, if they have jobs available, you're already in the system. You're already there. Mm-hmm. Or if you choose to work elsewhere, you already have a track record of experience, of some level of experience.
Yep.
And like, how would you? And what about like the dating aspect and like building the family? Like, how would you tell them to go about that?
The dating, to me, I would tell, if you, depending on what your age, if you between 18 and 23, I'm telling you, you should not be seeking serious relationships.
Yeah, that's
that's something that I reinforce in therapy. I get a lot of 20, 21-year olds, 18, 19, out of high school, man, because thought they was gonna get married to somebody at 19 years. I'm sitting here like, let's look at this, red pill.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that is because you just got out the house. You just got out your parents' house. You 18, you 19, 20 years old. You just got out of the house. Why would you want to restrict yourself to other responsibilities that you're not ready for? You haven't even got a chance to just be free to yourself. Better yet, committing yourself to another person. And when we're talking about committing yourself, that means that you're doing this from a spiritual standpoint, mental standpoint, a financial standpoint, which most 18 to 22, 23-year-olds don't have the finances to be financially, as a man, to be financially responsible for another person. Because that's basically what getting a wife, or you, even if you get a serious relationship, in that serious relationship, and let's just keep it a buck, the female will want you for some things financially.
as
That
she
just
should,
don't happen.
as she should, and
Yeah,
that
and I'm gonna say this. This has nothing to do with whether she financially responsible or not. That's just the natural evolution of a relationship. If something go wrong in her, like say her finances, and she dating you and she's serious and she care about you, she is going to look at you at bailing her out because you're supposed to be her man.
The leader.
You're supposed to have her back and her well-being. And most 20, and the thing about it, most 20, 21-year-olds are not ready for that.
right.
They not, man. And so I say that develop yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong with having relationships, but say you're not getting in serious relationships. Don't be worrying yourself if somebody dating somebody else and cheating. If she doing that or he or she is doing that, let them go and move on. Focus on your shit. Get your money up. So when it's time for you to you get in your career and stuff, and you have yourself financially set up and established, then you look for the person that you want to seriously be with and so forth. Because now you got yourself, you're more developed and polished as a man, as a human being, financially, socially, and all, because you've been through that for the last 5-6 years to get to that point. So when that person meets you, they're seeing a better standard of man at that point. You're in a better, because you're going to be in a better situation where you should be at 23 than where you were at 18 or 19 years old. And see,
Yeah.
and notice this, and I'm gonna let BMT, because I know you want to interject. Notice, and I'm like, Red Pill, you like what, 23?
Yeah.
A lot of chicks, a lot of girls your age want guys to give them a lot of shit. Some of
So
the stuff
true.
is, and it's unreasonable. Some of the stuff is unreasonable. And you know what? A lot of guys your age do? They break their neck trying to please these women instead of trying to focus on saving their money, establishing themselves, and getting a better career. So you chasing that instead of developing yourself. All that energy you put towards that woman that's young, right? You could be doing things to make yourself better. And so you actually hindering yourself by chasing that instead of chasing your career and your money. Then once you establish that, then you find the female like that. But see, guys, they allow women to distract them. So when you distracted like that, you can't be on your ball to be a better person. I'm saying between that age range.
Right.
Yeah, it's a distraction. How many guys you know mess their life up messing around with women, or women messing around with the wrong guy, getting knocked up, and they screwed financially, they stressing, they complaining, they can't do the stuff they used to do. They miserable. They trying to get out of it.
Man, listen, man. I got my one homie, man. I told this dude, man, like, yo, wrap it up with her, bro. Like, he was saying, oh, she my girl and all that. Well, I'm like, man, this is not gonna last, bro. You were just fucking on this other female the other day, bro. Like, I know you, bro. You not gonna marry her and all that, bro. So he ended up getting her pregnant and all that, man. And they had a miscarriage. I'm like, bro, please wrap it up. Man, ended up getting pregnant again. I'm like, bro, you tripping. Like, what is you doing, bro? So right now, man, he just in a messed up position, man. And to be real with you, I can't help that nigga. It is what it is.
You know, and I'm gonna tell you this honestly from my heart. When I had a family at a young age, I lost 2 children, and then after that, I still was foolish enough to try to run the streets. A lot of y'all, I'm telling y'all, man, this is why I hear this thing about, well, the black woman, she don't want to have a family, and I'm like, it's she don't want to have a family, or she knows you're not ready for a family, and so maybe she's saving you from that of you're going to fail and crumble under the pressure. Like, understand this. I am one of the very few, and probably the only person that is actually on YouTube that shows his family like that. And I can tell you right now, it's not all rainbow sunshines and pixies and daisies and you sitting on a throne. It's a 365, 66 day work period. Them kids do not care if you're tired. Them kids do not care if, oh man, my pockets are hurting. All they know is I got to eat, I need toilet paper, I need clothes, X, Y, and Z. See, and people don't understand that of the responsibility and that of the weight that is on you as a man.
Oh yeah, I got my checkups
too. And when it comes to having these issues, and like what Dee Rail said, sometimes it's better off. Like I don't understand that. At one hand, y'all don't want the women. Y'all want the women to come back to the home. But then y'all want 50-50. But then y'all say, well, the women are getting Plan Bs and abortions and shit. And I'm like, maybe that was sometimes y'all gotta pick a struggle. You need to pick a struggle and die on it. Like, if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. I have no problem with a man who is young, like your age, you're 23, you're still finding yourself. You're going to see you walk one corner, you see one female, you wagging your tail like a dog. As soon as you walk around the next corner and walk inside Walmart, you see 15 more females. Now you damn saliving and stuff. Like, it's okay. Like, I understand. Same thing for the women. So y'all both are trying to figure yourself out, and you still trying to get stable. And no offense, but inflation right now is a mofo. So really, you can't afford, because having a family is a business in itself. And you gotta understand, when you default on that, and this is something that I'm gonna be honest about. Women will most likely take the child and the man will leave. Women will take the child and say, damn, I'll just have to absorb the debt. I'll take the child. The man will go on. The man will go on and say, well, shit, F you. I don't want to deal with this anyway. And go on. I know we don't want to say, well, no, only certain amount of black men are having babies. Stop that bullshit, man. Yeah, somehow, I don't know how people started thinking that women had become asexual, some shit, which is amazing. If they learn how to do that shit, then goddamn it, we on a whole nother esoteric level.
But don't be pansexual.
But we have these things like what Dieter was telling. He's not telling you that. And I'm gonna be honest, just from how he was saying that, he wasn't saying that just from that as a therapist. He was saying that as a father and a family man, that he would tell his own son and his own children, or somebody he's talking to. Y'all gotta understand when different hats that men wear. And so when he's speaking from experience, like when I speak to y'all, I'm speaking to y'all either as a father or a man in a home. And when I do that, a lot of men don't want to hear that, because it's not a straight and narrow talking point. No family man is ever going to agree with consent. No family man with children is ever going to agree with consent. No man in the home, holistically, that's running a healthy home, is ever going to say, well, my wife better just bow down and shut the fuck up. No, dude, that run your ass straight to the goddamn block. Like, was you telling me so tell me, put your daughter on the goddamn on the goddamn. Let's hear your daughter, and you tell your daughter, I'm training you to be submissive to a man when you have no free will. That's just not logical. That's irrational behavior. But y'all talk about slavery one day, white man so bad and evil, but then y'all talk about this submissive goddamn constitutional shit. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, black man, go be under the heel of the white man again. Since y'all like talking about that submission shit so much, nobody's training anybody. Like we gotta start looking at these things as a whole. Like the women are trying to get their shit together, just like the men. And you got a lot of bad information being put out there. You got a lot of people with mental health issues, shacking up, making babies. That's a lot of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start looking at these things and properly assessing what is going on. And so when you see these things going on where young men, they think they're in love, and like your friend, the girl just had a miscarriage. He's still trying to put a baby up in her. But then on the same end, he's not going to take it serious until there's a high esoteric power that he's sitting before at the courthouse saying, listen, you knew what you were doing. Now you're going to have to pay the cost. Because if we got to help this child and this woman out, and see, that's the thing I never understood when people be trying to tell, like the fellas who will tell a woman, why'd you go to the courthouse? Well, I'll tell you what, pay for the insurance for this child. Pay for the food and the cost and all the stuff. Do y'all know how much goddamn formula costs? Formula a can. Not even a goddamn good can. Not even a goddamn good can of formula is goddamn $23. That's actually $24.
And that was a shortage.
And that shit's still going. It's actually going up to 40. Excuse me. That's just a can of formula. Y'all must don't know how fast babies run through that shit. And that's
my insurance is free.
So imagine you pumping out $100 to $200 for months until that baby probably hits 2 or 3, if that. And that's if the baby don't have any health issues. See, it's not an easy game. And see, that's what some guys that hit cold feet. Shit, take it to my mama's house. She don't know what to do. No. But you the man. You the man. Why are you trying to pass it on to somebody else? So
no, it's your responsibility.
Let me get at it. So let me get this out, because I hear this shit a time. Your girl ain't fucking your mama. She's dealing with you. Your girl didn't go to your family. She came to you. You can't say you the man, but you want to pawn it off to your mama or somebody else. You talking about submission, but then you look for outsourced help on YouTube or wherever to go answer to. Then why is she coming to you? That's what I said. There's a failure in goddamn the house. So when we got these issues going on and people don't want to actually be realistic on it, if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. And I get y'all talking about, well, when I get 40 years old, then I can start settling down and have a family. Y'all out of your damn mind. Ain't no 40-year-old man or 40-year-old woman trying to have no damn baby or some shit like that. Like, listen, you be crazy as hell. You don't know the energy you need to run behind a goddamn infant or a toddler.
Right. What's up, Raining Woman?
Hey, okay, I'm back. You guys are giving out some great stuff. Before I chime in on this, I want to ask D. Durrell and BMT if they agree or disagree with two statements first. The first statement is this: sex with a woman comes with expectations. Agree or disagree?
Does it come with? It comes with what again?
Expectations.
Yeah, sex comes. with expectations.
It's always gonna be some kind of risk or reward expectation.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like most women, for the most part, when they have sex with you, they expect exclusivity. They expect they expect to for you to only have sex with them and nobody else. They expect because of that you open the lines of communication, availability. So
Mhm.
yes, it comes with expectations.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to understand. And this is quick little biology for y'all. Tell a woman that you having raw sex with her, and then reveal to her that you having raw sex with another woman. She will probably say, "Get the hell off of me," because she don't know what that other woman is carrying or could bring to her pH or her body. That's why she's like, "Hold up, wait! I'm putting myself in danger here." So when y'all say that Papa is a Rolling Stone narrative, y'all better understand how dangerous that game that's being played. It's a very dangerous game. So the exclusive there's a lot of stuff to it, man. There's a lot of stuff to it that we got to start looking at in the grand scheme of these things. So yeah,
Okay. So my next statement is to see if you agree or disagree is time with a woman comes with responsibility.
Right?
BMT.
right, yeah,
Okay. So I said that to say this, right? To get this young man. Who asked the question? Was it Red Pill Finance? Were you the
Yeah,
one asking the question?
yeah,
Okay.
that was me.
Okay, great. So you heard these two older men of a mature age giving sound advice. Agree with what I said, right? So I'm gonna say it again a couple of times because I really want you to hear it and I want you to get it. I wanted to kind of set in a little bit before I go any further. Sex with a woman comes with expectations. Sex with a woman comes with expectations. Sex with a woman comes with expectations. Those expectations could be realistic or unrealistic. Whether they're realistic or not depends upon how you are engaging with her. Depends on how you're open and transparent with her. But regardless to how transparent and how honest you are with her and how realistic or unrealistic, the bottom line is this: sex with a woman comes with expectations. Now, next thing, time with a woman comes with responsibilities. Time with a woman comes with responsibilities. Time with a woman comes with responsibilities, and those responsibilities can be sometimes laid out on paper and sometimes not just quite clear. And they vary from woman to woman. They're not all the same. There are some things that are basic, like emotional and mental responsibility. That's basic. And a female in your age bracket and younger may not be able to word it as such, but when you are irresponsible with her time, with her emotions because of the time exchange, it's going to show up when she's having a fit, trying to express because she does not know how to express like I can as a woman. So when you say what kind of advice would we give a young man and a young woman in this space, first of all, I would say run as far as you can from this space, like run as far as you can from this space. But in all seriousness, like these men have shared, you need to take some time to work on yourself. I want you to understand that the financial responsibilities of your generation and the generation coming up behind you are not anything at all like ours. They're going to be heavier, which means you're going to have to work harder and or smarter. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our financial responsibilities are nothing like our grandparents and our parents. So standing where we are, we can definitely tell you this, that you as a man and as someone that's going to have a bigger I don't care what you hear anywhere else. Society as a whole and at large puts a bigger responsibility on you as a man because you are a man, regardless of what is happening with a woman or not. That is your charge to have, your charge to keep, your charge to hold. And what you do with that charge shows who you are as a man. And so, as a young man, it takes time to develop the character of what you will and will not and are willing to tolerate in this world, to work for, to stand up against, and to fight. But you can't know that without first also knowing who you are. And in your early 20s, just leaving your parents' house and just getting out there, you don't know who you are. You only, who you are right now, who you think you are, is a microcosm of who you will be at the age of 30.
Yep, of who you will be. Yep. Amen on that one.
It's a microcosm of what will matter to you. But here's what's essential. It doesn't matter who you are at 30. One thing is going to be certain no matter what. The world and society at large has given you the charge to be a man in this world, regardless of what is happening with women and regardless of what is happening in the world. You have been given a charge to take a stand in this world as a man and to be a leader as a man. You have been given that charge. You have been given the charge to be an influence in this world as a man. And newsflash, it don't even matter that you're a black man. That's only a factor. It should not be the focus. When you make that your focus, it actually makes it closer for you to fall into the victim role and always trying to see what you get from somebody else instead of seeing yourself like that man over there, that non-black man. He puts his pants on just like I do, the same way. Whatever is important to him, whatever rights he feels like he deserves in this world, I deserve those same rights in this world. Not because I'm black, but because I am a man. Because I am a man. When you find out really what your values are, what you're willing to tolerate in this world, what you're not willing to tolerate, then you're able to see what kind of influence you want to have on the woman that you want in your life long term. Now, as a man, of course, you got hormones, just like this young woman does. I want to tell you about this young woman a little bit. Let me talk to you about the young woman. The young woman right now is already under influence because females are easier influenced than what men are. In our natural nature, in our natural aspect of us, we are more easily influenced. So we're already under some kind of influence, trying to find our own way as well when we, call ourselves getting grown and whatnot, right? So when you start dating a young woman, what you are essentially taking on some responsibility of influence. And it could be a healthy influence or an unhealthy influence. But that depends on you and where you are and how healthy of an individual you are, how focused and how solid of an individual you are. And when you determine how you want to influence a woman, that determines you then set the pattern and the standard of what you want in your life to provide for, to be responsible for. What kind of woman do you want to have expectations on you? So that when someone doesn't meet those standards, you can let them go or watch them leave simply because they don't meet those standards. Not because you're trying to force them into being something that they were not meant to be, or because you didn't know how they were, or because she's like everybody else. And then you're running around here, you jumping on panels, and you're in chat rooms. These people are all alike. They don't know this, they don't know that, they this, they that, they that. No, you have more power than what you recognize when you get under other people and talk to other people who are not walking in on up to their own power. And that's how you begin to set a standard for, see, you can be a king, right? Because your household is supposed to be your kingdom first. Being a king means being a leader. What kind of leader do you want to be? What kind of culture do you want to set for your kingdom? You can't even begin to think about that in your 20s because you don't know who you are yet. You've got to first understand who you are, express yourself. And in the meantime, just know that everything that you do with a woman, whatever level or degree of the relationship, comes with expectations and responsibilities. So just be as transparent as you can as you continue to grow and develop yourself for the long term and the long haul.
Okay, that was you got a lot more game to some of these old heads on these panels, you feel me? I definitely agree with everything you said. All that is true. Like a lot of time I even agree with what Dieterell said earlier about just focusing on yourself between the age of 18 and 23. And when I bring these like talking points to like a lot of individuals, like they look at me crazy, like something wrong with me. Like even my dad, like he don't understand like the kind of man I am, you know what I'm saying, as far as like me trying to get my situation right and me trying to develop myself. Like a lot of people don't really understand that because I understand like that's not what the culture is right now. You feel me? So it's just hard just dealing with that. You feel me?
Yeah, man. You at your age, man, you should be focused on your, like for myself. I'm gonna use myself as an example. When I was a kid, when I was young, right, and I was dating my wife at the time. We was dating, and people were asking me when I was like around 21, 22 years old, particularly after I graduated from college. They were like, "Well, you getting married next, right?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not getting married. My goal for myself was I'm not getting married till I finish all of my educational goals and solidified the right job. Then I can look at that. Like, cause I've seen so many guys, man. I remember, man, especially as a freshman and a sophomore, man, half the friends that I had end up moving back home on account of relationships, either getting somebody pregnant, they got married while they was in college, and they had to basically quit. They basically had to quit college and get a job, or they had to move back home so that they could and go to school in state because they could no longer afford to be in college or and be away from the town that they from and all that different stuff like that or the state. So they had to move on account of pursuing relationships, of that decisions that they made in relationships. I mean, I've seen that happen a lot. Like, man, my freshman year, like most of the friends I had were from like the East Coast or they was from the West Coast. None of them were like from the South. And I'm gonna say at least 75% of those people went back. I had a cool friend, man. One of my best friends, man, was from Michigan. He was dating this girl. She ended up getting pregnant, and he lasted 1 year, and he had to move back because he decided he couldn't afford to go to school in out of state, so he had to go to state in state Michigan, and he had to take care of his child. And I get that. I mean, you want to be there for your child. You don't want to be away. But for me, I was like, man, I'm finishing my education first. So I know that once I'm ready to get married, I have opportunities that can be afforded and I can pursue based on that, instead of me not having those opportunities and getting married and I can't provide nothing. So that's the way I look at that, because I'm like, I've just seen so many guys and women too. I've seen women pursuing education. I mean, pursuing guys and being distracted from doing other things. And I feel like pursuing relationships should not distract you from your goals, particularly at that age. Because to me, the quicker you establish yourself, the younger you establish yourself, it's gonna make things so much easier for you later on in life. Like for me, I went to school 7.5 years in a row, straight, nonstop. I only took off one semester.
And what, did you date during those times, or like you was
still I dated. Yeah, I did date, but I was the ladies I was dating and with my wife that I ended up marrying, they were trying to like was trying to keep things where, all this stuff about, we need to talk about this is serious, where we're going, all this stuff about the seriousness and the stress of a relationship. And when that started happening, I'm like, look, I'm focusing on my education. I'm not going to like be up till 2:00 in the morning talking to you when I know I need to be studying. I gotta go to school 8:00 in the morning. I gotta go to work at 3 after class in at 2. I can't be dealing with that because I have to focus on what counts for me long term. And me trying to please you right now, I'm not saying it's not important, but this is more important. And that's why my parents sent me here to get an education, not to solidify a relationship.
If she's for you, she will understand that point.
Yeah,
right.
And then she would want to get something for herself, and then both of you can be independent, and both of you can have the financial gain to want to have kids, and get married and have kids one day.
Yeah, like when I was dating and stuff like that, man, I had ladies, man. I had this one girl, man. Oh my God. And she was smart. She's actually highly successful. She's an accountant. She does well for herself. She actually works for Exxon. She's fabulous. I mean, but at the time, man, you want to see, man, you want to meet every day? I can't see you every day when I'm trying to go to school and work and stuff like that. I can't see you every day. I'm not trying to see you like 5 or 6 days a week. I can't do that. And then when I'm, it was stress, man. Like I'm like whenever it just started being where you wanting too much, and I only got so much. And to me, I'm here to get an education. Every time that happened where a female, and it ain't happening all, because some of those situations, when you start wanting too much attention, too much time, and all that stuff, or you trying to tell me I can't do this and I can't do that, I'm not here to get a relationship. I'm here to get an education. That was my.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I got to go 3 days or a week without seeing you because I got 5 research reports to do, that's just what it's going to be. And I'm not going to take away from doing that to see you. I'm not.
Yeah, I feel you, man, because it's definitely hard out here because I had so much female fall off just because they feel like I don't give them enough attention. I don't talk to them that often. I don't send a good morning text. Like, it's just crazy, man. Like, and they don't have an understanding of what it actually takes to become successful nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm not no goddamn rapper, man. Like, I'm an intelligent individual. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
They just don't understand that aspect of when it's time to handle business, you handle business. But I mean, when it's time to mingle and conversate, we can do that. But a lot of females nowadays don't really understand that.
And that's okay. May I interject?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so Rainy Woman, after you finish, I'm going to do the closing words because I have actually got a meeting to go to in a little bit. So no rush, but I'm just saying, like, after you finish, we're going to do closing statements.
Oh, okay. No worries. And thank you. That's okay if they don't understand and don't get it, right? Because you're still being transparent. Whoever is going to fall off is going to fall off, and you just allow them to do so and let them be free. You know, you can tell them, hey, this is what's going on. I enjoy your company and I enjoy spending time with you, but this is a priority. See, you're going to find yourself having to set and maintain these standards throughout your entire life. So to lay that foundation now and have that practice become a part of your lifestyle now is actually very critical. It's not your job to entertain women. It's not your job to entertain homeboys, because you will find sometimes even homeboys or people that you grew up with, you know, y'all have different goals, different things that you're striving for. So they may want to hang out too, and they all become a distraction. You are the one that's responsible for everything that you have put in front of you. You're the one. At the end of the day, you are the one responsible. And the right woman and the right people will be around when it's time to play and you're ready to play and be entertained, and the wrong ones won't. And it'll all be okay. D. Darrell, thank you for having me up. Thank you for allowing me to share. And Red Pill Finance, thank you for being receptive to my words. I appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you
Appreciate
for the
you.
game.
All right. So we're going to do final words. Red Pill, you can go ahead.
Yeah, we had a good discussion today, man. We chopped it up on a lot of subjects. Raging, how you say your name again?
It's Raining Woman.
Oh, Rain Woman. Yeah, like you had a good little spill that you just did, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? D Darrell, we unlocked BMT, and that dude named who sell life insurance was here too. He a cool dude too, man.
Alonzo.
So
Yeah.
Alonzo, yeah, man. So yeah, that was a great conversation, man. That's all I gotta say.
All right. All right. We on Lock Nation.
What we need to be practicing in these particular sectors or whatever is we need to talk about how we can become friends with one another. There's not too many people that can say I can become your friend first before I can be in any type of relationship, any type of relations, because it becomes damaging to the next generation that wants to come up and wants to get married and wants to have a suitable life. What in these final moments that we have with one another, we want to set an example for our young kids. We want to set an example for the generation. So let's become friends with one another before you start talking about I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, because all it leads is to disaster. It's already leading down a slippery slope road. So be cautious, be careful, and just enjoy yourself.
All right. Okay. So, guys, I appreciate you all for being here. I'm definitely glad to chop it up with all of y'all. I have another live stream I will be doing tomorrow. I've done pretty much more. I had a kind of a free week this week where I had some things where my schedule allowed me to do more live streams. It's not going to be like this every week, but this was one of those weeks where I'm able to do more content. And I appreciate having that time. With that being said, guys, I have a good evening. And I will be talking to you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Peace.
All right.